Can't talk shit about anyone?
Nope, the mic's hot.
Lighting looks good. Folks, welcome in to the Men's League Sweaters. Game of the week. Bob Gucci, Jay Swish, bringing you coverage you can't get anywhere else. Live from Northeast Scottsdale. We are tuning into the Edmonton Oilers visiting the Philadelphia Flyers at the Wells Fargo Arena. Now it's called the Xfinity Mobile Arena. But nonetheless, it is Wednesday night action. It is Industry Night 1901 here in the first period. Just getting going as we see Darnell, the doctor, absolutely threw a shitburger there. But Bob, how you doing? Good to see your chin. We've been at it all day, my friend.
It's really good to be here for this game, Military Appreciation Night, which is absolutely an advertisement from the Army. Oh, as Owen Tippett hits the post. It's good to see two teams that don't see each other very often. It's sort of like your ex-girlfriend when you're back in your hometown for the holidays. You don't see her very often, but you're still trying to get a hand job switch. It's been great to be here all day today preparing for this game, and I'm excited for this fucking matchup.
Cold tub, hot tub, Gary Brecka special-esque over here. We've been looking at film. We've been doing everything we can. And like you said, Blackout Wednesday is just 2 weeks away, where you go to your hometown and you try to wheel that divorcee that you had a crush on in the 8th grade science class. But nonetheless, two teams that are playing fairly decent this year. Obviously, the Edmonton Oilers have got off to not a terrible start, but if you will, it hasn't been perfect in Oil Land. And the Philadelphia Flyers have been a early surprise in the season is Trevor Zegras, Mishkov. These guys have been playing well, and Rick Tocchet has this team going at a decent clip. If you're just tuning in, this is the Men's League Sweaters Game of the Week. Bob Gucci alongside Jay Swish. Again, folks, we're at the 17:41 marker as Brett Kulak plays the puck up the wall, and it was an errant pass that gets over the stick, I believe, of Nick Seeler, who backtracks the puck. And Bob, I don't know what to expect tonight. We have some money on the line via our good friends at Prize Picks. It's good to be right, but I haven't been right a lot this year so far. But you know what? Tonight, I might just do it. We'll see.
As you see here on the screen, folks, the font's a little bit small. We have Connor McFerda over a point. Jake Wallman over 1.5 shots, 1.5 gritties. Leon Draisaitl over 2.5 shots. And Trevor Zegras with over. I can't say over, fuck. You have to say more than 1.5 shots. That is our parlay, HB3 parlay pinto of the night. And yeah, man, it's looking like Edmonton's going to need to start stacking up some wins, even though they can be bad until December. It doesn't matter. McStevenson will turn on the gas and Draisaitl and take this team straight to the final probably.
Yeah, some questionable moves in the offseason by their general manager and Stan Bowman electing not to re-sign Corey Perry. I had the Oilers faithful attacking me last 2 days saying, well, yeah, Swish, it's $2 million on paper, but then another $2 million in bonuses. Yeah, if he hits all those bonuses. Also, if you sign a player that's over 35, those bonuses don't count against the cap until they actually accumulate. So, yeah, maybe that was a move they would like to have back. There was a couple other moves during the offseason, but hindsight's 2020. This is the makeup of their roster. And Bob, to be honest, the Edmonton Oilers the last 3-4 years, yes, they have made the Stanley Cup final. They've been competitive, but it ultimately comes down to 97 and 29, just putting the team on their back, and hopefully Bouchard not throwing at least 7 pizzas a night, and they somehow just find their way in the Cup final.
Yeah, and, McDavid's going to walk into that front office, and he's going to tell them, we need a couple more pieces. So I'm not too worried about them. And, hey, look, we're at Philadelphia Flyers home ice here. I just want to say I would love to see Philly back in the playoffs, playing that Daniel Carcillo, give people CTE, and then take the shrooms later kind of hockey. I hope they can kind of find their way in that Eastern Conference.
Throw first, ask questions later, and then when all hell breaks out, fill your brain up with some psilocybin. Because we have an early chance here for Cam York.
Oh, what a pass.
Who misses this net on Stuart Skinner. It's kind of funny he missed the net. You think he would have found some body, but you know what? Stuart Skinner has lost 20 pounds in the offseason. Just ask Mark Masters. Oh my God.
Mark Masters, known for keeping tabs on players' bodies. What a save. End-to-end action here.
Yes, he is. And per Ryan Rashog, this team really wants to go back to the Stanley Cup final. 14:59 here as Travis Konechny plays the puck in, and Leon Draisaitl is able to intercept that, and Owen Tippett sends that puck back up to the point. And, well, where there was good wood, like a good neighbor, State Farm was there. So was Stuart Skinner's. A drive by Juleson is kicked away by Stuart Skinner. One thing I don't like about Stuart Skinner, and I don't know the man himself, the South Edmonton native. I shouldn't say that. That's where Carter Hart is from. He is from Sherwood Park on the other side, these crosstown rivals. But one thing I don't like about him, Bob, the number 74, I don't know. It kind of bothers me as a defenseman. I think John Carlson. I even think TJ Oshie back in the St. Louis Blues days, going back to Blues camps. 74 on a goalie. I don't know. I mean, I'm not here to number shame, but just kind of looks a little weird.
I think you got to be a special kind of player. Maybe you're just one-off goalie from Kazakhstan or Slovenia, or you kind of got a different flavor to you. Maybe you're a Puerto Rican guy, but to rock 74, you got to be somebody that has a little bit of that foreign flavor. I don't know how I feel about it either. I think maybe unless you're absolutely nasty, I think it brings down your aura a little bit. We're going to have to look into that, keep tabs on that as the season progresses here.
Yeah, grass-fed aura farming. That's what we're about over here at Home by 3. As Trevor Zegras pokes that puck away like a Jedi, he's able to get it over to his defensive unit and steer that puck into Mishkov. As Gritty Wallman has not grittied yet. I believe he almost did a few in warm-ups, but he elected not to. That's going to go for icing 14:01 as Nick Seeler picks up that puck for the official. We're getting a live look in at Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid always looks a little weird when he has a clean shave, and not sure if it's downstairs like Lou Lamoriello recommends, but clean shaven face tonight on a Wednesday night in Philadelphia. Love the good people of Philadelphia. Shout out to all the good people of Broad Street. 14:01 remaining here in the first frame, just getting going as we're getting a look here at, well, Edmonton's third line, I believe. We're getting a look here. And Rico, we got Janmark and number 20, Kurt Lazar. So that's their fourth line, I guess, as Gritty Wallman sets up behind the trapezoid of Stuart Skinner and waits for new troops to come on the ice. Not a ton going on here early, folks. Shots 3-3. The score obviously 0-0 as Trent Frederick steers that puck in, and they get that thing in deep. And Ike Howard, who had high hopes for the season, Bob, but, off to a slow start. Anytime you're coming from college, you've won a Hobie Baker, you somehow don't want to play in Tampa Bay, which is beyond me. You elect to get traded, and you end up forcing your hand to Edmonton. But he's only got 1 goal and 2 assists through 16 games. So really, I guess, keeping that number 53 on par and really wearing it well and properly from the late Jeff Skinner.
Yeah, Jeff Skinner, who didn't die, but he's not on the team anymore.
Basically played dead the whole season.
Jeff Skinner once chirped to one of my good friends, Bo Bennett, and Bo Bennett said, "What are you going to do? You're going to do nothing."
You're going to do nothing, Jeff. You learned how to mohawk with a figure skating coach, but you've made almost $100 million, so good on you, Jeff. 12:47 remaining here, folks. As if you're just tuning in, thank you for stopping in to the biggest, largest hockey show in the entire world with the biggest female demographic. Are there any chicks in the chat? If you are, please state your name and how did you find out about the show? I don't want guys interpreting or acting as chicks. I simply just want chicks to know that we're thinking about you. Ladies, it is a night early on Ladies' Night. Bob, sorry I cut you off there.
No, I was just going to say a lot of times there are people in the chat that are men that are pretending to be women. That actually famously happened to me in RuneScape. I had a RuneScape girlfriend for multiple years, and it ended up being a guy from Egypt. It was very disgusting, but I never told my parents about it, and I'm actually saying it for the first time on the air. But other than that, we do appreciate any real chick that's in the chat. Back to the game, 11:57 remaining.
Nothing like getting Monty Teo before Monty Teo. As Paul Kozin sends that in, and that drive was wide. It would have hit a soccer net, but not the 4x6 that the game of ice hockey is played with. Nets, New Jersey Nets, whatever kind of net, you got to hit the net as Owen Tippett tries to spring Travis Konecny, but that was broken up by the defense of the Edmonton Oilers. Darnell, the doctor nurse, who had a suspect game the other night in Columbus, is trying to rebound as Gritty Wallman is sniped in the crowd by John Wilkes Booth and lost an edge. And wow, Couturier.
Ooh, that thing is loose.
That was looser than a cabaret stripper.
Looser than a Florida State University dropout. We're going to get a look here at Zegras coming to the middle of the ice and creating space. And that actually goes off of, I believe that's Adam Henrique.
That was off of Rico, yep.
Folks, during this commercial break, we are brought to you by Men's League fucking sweaters. You can buy our HB3 Men's League jerseys, a 93.1 jersey or a Gucci 69 jersey. Or if you don't want our names on the back and you want to customize your name, you can get a regular blank slate HB3 jersey. That link is currently in the bio of this video. If you're not subscribed to this show, you're not helping us at all. We would appreciate some help. Click that fucking subscribe button. This game is also brought to you by Prize Picks and Pick It and a couple other sponsors that I'm not remembering.
Yeah, we have a few other. Dryello, they signed on, so we gave them an ad read today for Athlete's Foot. Go over to dryello.com if you're experiencing different things and complications for Athlete's Foot. Yeah, it's a shame you want to talk about bad feet, but, there's a lot of good dudes with bad feet. Just ask Mr. Deeds. It's a hell of a movie. He still had a lot of buddies out there.
Yeah, he did. He was a great guy, and it's just great that he wanted to give away that wealth that he found in that movie. I found that was a very heartwarming story. For all the movies that come out of Hollywood that poison our brains, that was one of the good ones.
Right you are, Bob. Folks, if you're just tuning in, thank you for stopping by the largest, most in-depth hockey show in the world. Coverage you can't get anywhere else. Jay Swish, Bob Gucci, homebuy3.shop has all of our latest merchandise on there. Again, if you're looking to see us on our Let It Snow tour, well, we have tour dates we want to tell you about. Chicago IL, December the 3rd, Milwaukee, Wisconsin on the 4th, Buffalo, New York. Shout out to Chippewa Street. Shout out to Mothers on the 6th. And ending the Let It Snow tour on this side of 2025 is Pittsburgh, PA on December the 10th. If you're in the fucking state of Pennsylvania, please buy some tickets to Pittsburgh. It all goes to a profitable cause in, well, taking care of some serious credit card debt over here at Home by 3. We're getting a live looking at Dan Vildar, who's getting a start tonight. He's got a decent record against the Oilers to boot, 3-2 with a sub 900 save percentage, and they'll need him tonight if they're looking to, well, clip one of the heavyweights in the Western Conference.
That's going to go for icing. It's not going to go for icing. This game is brought to you by Snickers. We do have a chick in the chat right now. Everybody be cool, as here is Zegers, who pokes it ahead into the corner for Darnell, the doctor nurse. That's not even him.
But that was Brett Kulak, who crazy story about Kulak is he started his career in the easy come, hard to leave league of the Colorado Eagles. And somehow if you find your way off food stamps and out of the East Coast Hockey League and you make it to the NHL and you're a regular, well, count your blessings, my friend. You have made it. 10:45 remaining here as we get a look at the Edmonton Oilers' fourth line, third line, whatever you want to call them, is we get a look at Adam Henrique, Curtis Lazar, and I believe that is Matthias Janmark, as Sean Couturier, who has had north of 15 back surgeries, plays a little saucer pass into Zegras, and he stops up right along his blue line, and Travis Sanheim is able to gain the zone and a bad gap by Matthias Ekholm, and ultimately a good stick there by Curtis Lazar on Mishkov, and the Edmonton Oilers will reset and rebound as Connor McDavid. Anytime those boots get going through the neutral zone, well, defensemen get a little bit scared.
As they should. What a save right there by Dan Darth Vladar off the draw. There's been a lot of good opportunities right now from the slot, but the goalies seem to be locked in.
That was one hell of a dump in by Robert Brink right there, the pride of Chanhassen, Minnesota. He dumped that thing in like he was trying to score. Like there was a net in that corner, like a really proper dump in. Nothing like taking a wrist shot at the corner this early in the game. Like that's what a coach loves. They'll watch that dump in about 15 times. I guarantee that. Is McDavid.
Oh,
it's
McDavid.
A shot, but that thing was fought off like a bad cold. I don't know if it would hit something in front of the defenseman of the Philadelphia Flyers, but nonetheless, McDavid with a grade B-like chance early on in the game, Bob. Both teams feeling each other out. The pace of this game, it concerns me a little bit. Not a ton of North hockey being played here. We've had a couple 2-on-1s that haven't amounted to anything as Leon Draisaitl tries to play it under the triangle and the skates of Travis Konechny, and he's able to intercept that pass, but ultimately Draisaitl gets it back from Konechny as Gritty Wallman, who signed for 7x7, throws an absolute hot and ready through the middle of the ice, and they're going to get a chance here for double deuce of the
Great
Philadelphia Flyers.
That was kids out there, if you're going to listen, you're going to always want to throw sauce, even if it's unnecessary. Who cares what your coach says? He's a bum. Great chance right there.
Yeah. Like the famous barbecue sauce Sweet Baby Ray's has on their bottle, the sauce is the boss.
Gritty Wallman, not known for being a great guy, though. Having a decent year on the score sheet. Not sure how he is in the locker room, but seems to be a good pickup so far.
Yeah, he's had a couple of goals. He's been playing well. He got that nice contract. He faked an injury out of camp. He was able to miss that. And you know what? He's done well.
Right, you are.
8:20 remaining here, folks, in the first frame. If you're tuning in from the chin of Dedmonton, or if you're in Alberta, anywhere in Alberta, or if you're in Philadelphia, please stop by the chat, say hi, send this to everyone you know, and say, you know what? These two dudes aren't funny, but they need our views. So please like, subscribe, comment, and as well as just tune in to the biggest show about a show in the world. 7:58 remaining as Evan Bouchard is seen on the ice. He doesn't have a turnover yet, which on Prize Picks, I wish they had that prop. I'm going to have to talk to someone out of Atlanta, Georgia at their headquarters because I would love to get that prop on there. Bouchard turnovers on a nightly basis. I don't know what the line would be set at, but I would say about 5.5 would be fair.
It's always good to be calling a game and be actively shit-talking the players. That's what makes us special. Swish, speaking of numbers before, how do you feel about Trevor, oh, Jesus, I just had a stroke. Trevor Zegras wearing the number 46.
Yeah, I think nothing about Zegras will ever make sense. He's always on his own wavelength. I don't know if he found out like about some white fullback back in the day that he really liked, like shout out to like a Mike Asselot or something that just wore a random number. And he was watching YouTube highlights all summer, but he seems to like it. It seems to fit. I think he's worn like 3 numbers on 2 teams. You know, like he changed his number in Anaheim as well. He went from, was it 46 to 11? Something like that. So I don't know. Nothing about Zegras makes sense.
Sometimes you like pizza. Sometimes you like tacos. Sometimes you're very high. 6:49 remaining. If you're following along with us, we ask you to mute the TV so you don't have to listen to Brian Boucher. We are calling the whole game, folks. 6:40 remaining as the puck is dumped deep into the corner.
Zegras he kind of just reminds me of a real life acid trip. You know what I mean? There's going to be highs, there's going to be lows, and sometimes you're going to go full crazy eyes from Mr. Deeds that we just talked about, and you're going to order a pizza with gumballs and Oreos on it. Sometimes that's what just people like, as there's a little bit of a pile up as Nick Seeler, who doesn't skate this summer. All he does is UFC train, fight, wrestle, grapple, and try to knock guys out in between the months of May and August. If you're just tuning in, folks, well, we're knocking this out of the park right now. This is the best show in the world. Just ask me. 6:28 remaining in the first frame. Again, folks, please load up the chat with your comments, questions, or concerns. This is the Men's League Sweaters Game of the Week featuring the Edmonton Oilers visiting the Philadelphia Flyers.
And folks, for a discount at mensleaguesweaters.com, use the fucking code CHIN in caps lock. I forget what percentage that is off, but in this economy, anything will help. The government was just turned back on. Now is a great time to spend on an HB3 jersey at mensleaguesweaters.com.
It is.
Can we get a live show in Pensacola, Florida? Ambro asks in the chat.
I believe, yeah. How many fans would we get? 3? For sure we'll do it. It's about the same size as the crowd in Milwaukee.
Folks, we are on tour beginning December 3rd for the Let It Show tour. Let It Snow tour.
Yep.
Jesus.
Chicago IL, that show has been moved to Zanies. And I tweeted out yesterday, we were going to give people a free shirt if they order tickets. We had a great turnout from people ordering tickets. I ask you, please, if you missed that, well, I don't know if I'm going to give you a shirt, but maybe, just maybe, if I'm drunk enough at the show afterwards and we do have merch, I will give you something anyways. Zanies, that show can be found, the ticket link on our website, homebuy3.shop. If you're in Chicago, West Loop, River North, South Side, West Side, Naperville, DePlain, wherever the fuck you are, Orland Park, buy the tickets, baby. Zanies, 9:15, December 3rd, baby. Come on, let's go.
We have a question coming in. Live show in Portland. I don't think I can actually go there. I'm not vaccinated, as we get a good look at Rick Tocchet talking to the reporter with a guy wearing a Phillies jersey in the background, flexing some sort of high school championship football ring.
Yes.
An absolute douchebag, which is very easy to come across in Philadelphia, Swish.
Nothing like flexing your Division 6 high school football championship for the Camden, New Jersey Raiders. Good on you, bud. The class of 2003. Shout out to you, and shout out to, well, DeVry Online, because I bet that's where that guy got his further associate's degree and or education package. 6:28 remaining here, folks, as we're getting a look at the Edmonton Oilers bench. Ike Howard, Trent Frederick, Matty Savoie, Darnell, the doctor nurse. We all need more from you in oil country. We're going to get our first power play of the game. Nick Seeler going to sit down, the pride of Eden Prairie, Minnesota. He famously went to Nebraska, Omaha, transferred when he had to sit out a year to the University of Minnesota. Wasn't a prolific player by any means, but he found his game in the minors and he found his hands. And what I mean hands, not for stick handling. He has 2 backhands, Bob. He found his way through fighting through the jungle. And honestly, good on him, because that's a job nobody who fucking wants to do.
Lots of explicatives coming from Nick Seeler in the box. He is not happy with that call, but we are, because we have a couple bets on the line as we take a look.
Why are they starting their second power play? Is this their second power play? They have 2 power plays going?
Bouchard, Jeff Skinner, and Draisaitl. Where is McStevenson?
I don't know. I was going to say, who's net front there? Is that fucking Mark Letestu?
Letestu or Pozlokin? Where is Connor McHarley-Davidson? Did he go down the tunnel, folks?
I don't know where he is, but we have Jack Roslovic, Ike Howard, Leon Draisaitl, Evan Bouchard, and I believe that is Paul Kozin on the left side, as we're going to monitor the status of 97, because he theoretically should be on the ice right now, is Jack Roslovic, who, if he didn't have a nameplate on the back of his jersey and you didn't know who he was, and you looked across a pond on an outdoor rink from afar and he had full gear on, you'd think, is that Adam Fox? They have the same head, the same chin, as well as the same kind of gear setup. So Jack Roslovic, who infamously this summer, Bob, turned down a 3 or 4 year deal. You fire your agent, you go into camp, you don't have a deal, and then you got to take 1.75 on the chin. 1.75 in Edmonton will go a long way, but you know what? In the offseason, you might not have anything.
Yep, and then nonetheless, you go to Edmonton, you shoot puck on the power play directly into the goalie's chest. As we get a look here, what happened to McStevenson? It looks like it was a high stick right in his chin. I'm not exactly sure the extent of that damage, Swish. We're going to want to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a stick or if it was a growing there. Hopefully it's just a stick, because I do have him for over 0.5. Can't say over. What do you say? More than 0.5 power play points tonight. So hopefully that doesn't ruin my 15-leg parlay. I'm really concerned about that. 5:03 remaining here, folks.
Was that in his sack? I was looking at the chat. I kind of got.
I think it was either his sack or his chin. I couldn't really tell because I was trying to say something funny and I struck out on seeing what it was, also saying something funny. So
that's all right. The chat is pretty much on the same page that I suck and you are funny. And that's just how it goes sometimes.
That is show business, folks. We're looking at the most power play points this season. Connor McDavid at the top of the league. No secret there. Leon Draisaitl, one of the best power plays in the National Hockey League, as McDavid. You knew he wasn't going to miss this power play. If he was going to come out, well, he was going to come out. If they needed a wheelchair, he would be out there, because this guy does not miss a chance. 5-on-4, as this changes everything for the Edmonton Oilers. Let's see what they can get done here, Bob. The first power play of the game. This power play is brought to you by nobody.
Brought to you by Toyota.
Brought to you by Southern Comfort. Southern Comfort is the official whiskey of the Confederate States.
It's actually the first whiskey I ever drank, Swish.
Really?
Ended up throwing up off a balcony.
Yeah, Southern Comfort is a, without being a racist company, without saying it, it's basically that. Folks, we do have a little over 4 minutes here left. Load up the chat. Get to us. Again, Evan Bouchard going to set up for a drop breakout as he surveys his options and gets it back to Connor McDavid, number 97, dancing on my own through the neutral zone. And he side swipes Sean Couturier, but a great stick there by, I believe, Christian Dvorak, who signed a 1-year deal with Rick Tocchet. The familiarity there, folks. Well, dating back to the Arizona Coyote days, where Dvorak was at Bottled Blonde a good amount, but who wasn't back in the day? That's when Old Town in Scottsdale was good. Shout out to Christian Dvorak. What a legend.
Shout out to Old Town. Used to be a very classy establishment, but now it's filled with people with low credit scored felons. As here is a little run at the goalie. It looks like Sam Hyman and Zach Yenmark in the corner here.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but Vladar, Radar has his blocker off here, folks, or his glove or his blocker hand, and he's kind of just shaking one off. I don't know what got tangled up there, but we're going to go to commercial break, and we're looking at two guys that are just having a little bit of a backyard barbecue. Folks, again, thank you for tuning in to the biggest show in the world. Bob Gucci, Jay Swish. Well, folks, we are going to be in Winnipeg, Manitoba Friday night, but Saturday. We need all the good chins of the Paris of the Prairies. If you're in town for the Grey Cup, the 112th edition of the Grey Cup, please stop by the Shark Club Saturday, 5 to 7. We're going to be there doing a live pod, not a show, but just a podcast and a meet and greet afterwards. Luke Wilson going to stop by, hopefully some players within the CFL. The historic 9-team league is playing for it all, Bob, on Sunday at Princess Auto Stadium, featuring the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the visiting Montreal Alouettes.
I'm also really looking forward to the halftime show of that game. We do have media passes, Swish, so we might be able to get up and close with Machine Gun Kelly. And I can't wait to go up to him and say, hey, man, I really liked you when you were a rapper. I don't listen to your new shit, and have him hit me across the face.
Yeah, that guy is, well, congrats on the sex. Is he still dating Megan Fox, or is that done?
I think he's dating Odell Beckham Jr. Swish.
Okay, so he's dating a guy now. Nothing like going from light skin to that milk chocolate baby, and actually swinging from the other side of the dish. Nothing wrong with being gay, folks. That is Hollywood in 2025.
And it's been Hollywood for hundreds of years. We just didn't know it until Instagram came out.
Yep. That we didn't. But you know what? There's been a lot of hose sucking for quite some time, as Curtis Lazar, who found himself in and out of the lineup early on the season, gets on the power play, takes out Vladar. Maybe that's the bounce the Edmonton Oilers needed, just to shake him up a little bit on his blocker side. We're going to get back to the game here, folks. There's a offensive zone face-off here for the Edmonton Oilers, just under 4 minutes here, 4:07 remaining, as we're getting a look at the Edmonton Oilers third line featuring Trent Frederick, Noah Phillip, and I believe that might be Matthias Janmark. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Ted Nugent out tonight. He's going to miss some time due to a, I believe, upper body injury. Don't confirm that with me, though. Just ask one of the beat writers. This is a show about a show that sometimes calls hockey games.
3:36 remaining. If you're following along with us, please go ahead and mute Brian Boucher and turn on the largest hockey show in the world, the largest gay, black, Chinese hockey show with the most female listeners in Northeast Scottsdale. Excuse me, Swish. Here's a play driving the net, picked up by McStevenson. Back to the point. There's a shot by Evan Bouchard.
How do you think McStevenson feels like when he's on a line with Andrew Mangiapane? Not a bad player, but
now here's a guy.
Not a guy that is a 100-point player by any means. And then you're playing with a rookie, Matty Savoie. It's like, is that the Crosby method or the model where you just put your best player with two random dudes and just hope it works? Like Pascal Dupuis and, I mean, Chris Kunitz was nasty, so I can't really discount him, but like Tyler Kennedy and Pascal Dupuis and just have Sid carry a line. Is that what you kind of hope for?
Yeah, you know, ideally if you're Crosby, you're not playing with Tyler Kennedy. No disrespect to Tyler Kennedy, but I think Sid just has that well-rounded grinder of a game where he could turn average players into superstars. I don't know if McStevenson has that ability. He could pretty much just do it all himself. But yeah, I think that's why he signed a bridge deal. He said, hey, get some guys in here. Show me you guys are serious, and I'll ink here for the next 20 years, but not yet.
Yeah, not yet. We're going to keep this carrot dangling. And speaking of carrot, the Philadelphia Flyers jerseys look like carrots tonight. I don't know how I feel about the orange. I like it, but I do love their black jerseys the most. Black lives, blue lives, it all matters, folks. We are coming up on Black Friday. We will have a little bit of a sale coming up on our merch we have on our website. So be on the lookout for that, folks. Everyone does Cyber Week, whatever week, Diddy Week, this week, that week. Shout out to all our veterans today as well. Veterans Day was yesterday. There goes my hero, baby. Watch him as he burns.
That's a great point, Swish. Shout out to all of our military protecting our government, protecting the people that are hiding the Epstein list. It's not your fault. We appreciate everything you guys do, even though most wars are created intentionally for money, as there's a dump deep into the corner.
There's nothing better than a guy throwing up a post about his great uncle serving in the military, just completely making Veterans Day about themselves.
Yeah.
You got to love those guys.
And back then, most guys actually did it because they had to.
Correct.
Switch. They wanted those Chevrolet, Dodge, Chargers, those white Oakley sunglasses. And let's face it, they didn't have anything better to fucking do. So most people that joined the Army back in the day, it wasn't out of courage. It's that they were really stupid.
And you got drafted.
Yeah, and you got drafted just like the NHL draft, unless you're Trump, who faked a bone spur. But 125 remaining left in the first period, as here is Bobby Brink.
Bobby Brink.
We'll get a good look here at Bobby Brink and Cam York.
Bobby Brink, who spent time at Denver University playing for David Carl and won a national championship there, as he's developed into a nice side piece for the Philadelphia Flyers, 40 points in his first couple of years, and he is having, well, a career year in terms of a start. Look for Bobby Brink to become a part of that middle six and a staple of the Philadelphia Flyers. He's a dog on a bone. I believe he is beloved in the locker room, a good kid, and by all accounts, just, you know what, a hockey player through and through.
Ooh.
As Connor McDavid sends that puck into Evan Bouchard.
Oh!
Evan Bouchard, God damn it, McDavid, you didn't get a fucking power play point.
An absolute bomb by Evan Bouchard, who famously hit puberty when he was 6. What an absolute piss blast.
Yeah, there's rumors dating back to his days at Notre Dame Catholic school where he grew up, and he had a beard before he could even talk.
Now, look at the way McDiddy took away the defender's stick there to create space for Evan Bouchard. And eventually that play doesn't work out, but McDavid follows up the puck because he's a veteran. He knows exactly how to play hockey. He's pretty good, if I don't say myself.
Staying with it, Bob, and you make a great point. He's able to get that stick out of the way. It doesn't work, but he's able to regroup, grab the puck, and that's like life. A lot of things don't work, but the more things you throw at the net, the more shit you throw at the wall, well, something will stick. And Evan Bouchard sticks that to the Philadelphia Flyers. You never want to get scored on under a minute. Just ask your coaches. They hate that. That is a big pet peeve because now they have to go back to the locker room and make themselves a whiskey and stress out for the next 20 minutes while the Zambonis are on the ice, wondering, am I another day closer to getting fired?
33 seconds remaining.
33 and a hook left here, folks, as Evan Bouchard gets his third of the season and McDavid's 18th assist, and nothing better than a second apple cookie for Matty Savoie, who did absolutely nothing on that play. But you know what? At the end of the season, they all count. 26 seconds remaining in this first frame. Gotta love a guy that just scores a goal and just immediately starts barking on the bench. Oh, yeah, go there. Yeah, you got this. It's like, dude, why are you so horny? Oh, we know why. Because you scored and you're one of those guys that doesn't talk until they get a point.
Yep, as long as you get your cookies, you just don't give a goddamn shit about the outcome of the game. You get your point, then you're high stepping through the rest of the game. You're playing with house money, and you always want those toxic guys on your team swish, so then you look better yourself for not being a toxic guy. 26.0 seconds remaining. This game is brought to you by Free Pouch. Use code CHIN, CHIN in caps lock at freepouch.com for 10% off your first order. The official nicotine pouch of Home by 3.
Yeah, it's a great pouch. All my buddies love it. I actually started trying them out again. They're good. They're easy. They come from, a good product in Louisville, Kentucky, as well as they offer a ton of different options. 5 milligrams, 12 milligrams, 15, 20, whatever kind of buzz you need. They got it for you, baby. Freepouch.com. Promo code CHIN. Again, gets you a little bit of a discount. Folks, this is a show that only talks about sponsors. Speaking of sponsors, well, if you have any out there for us, we're willing to listen. We want to do one show a week where it's strictly just ad reads.
Yeah, and we don't care. We've been grinding for a full year on this podcast. We have hundreds of thousands of listeners, and I think we earned the right to fully sell out. And there's one more thing we're waiting on, and that's Saudi Arabia to get involved. Throw the boys a bag. As here, the first has come to an end, folks. We're going to take a smoke break. We will be back for the second intermission. We appreciate you. We love you. Get that chat fired up. We will see you at the start of the goddamn second period.
folks, welcome back to Home by 3. Go for 1, stay for 2, Home by 3, Bob. Well, it's the second period here, folks, 1953 here, as we're looking at Jamie Drysdale, who has 22 blocks this season. And I love when they throw up just a random stat that nobody cares about because they need talking points in the game because the normal broadcast isn't creative enough to come up with different things, a bit within a bit, a show within a show. But that's why you tune in to the largest, best, most in-depth analysis you can't get anywhere else over here at Home by 3. Bob, welcome in. How was your smoke break? I saw you absolutely sawing down a 7-gram blunt. You're high, you're back, you're ready to go. Fucking A, brother. Back in the saddle.
Yeah, I had to go out there and smoke a gigantic blunt in honor of all of our troops out there, the troops that have fallen, the troops that have gotten back up, the gay troops, the lesbian troops, the Asian troops. It's Military Appreciation Game of the Week here in Philadelphia. It's good to be back here as there's a shot that's blocked and knocked down by Bouchard. Over to Ekholm. Ekholm winds up, takes a shot. Good save. And
oh my God. Somebody clip that. Bobby Brink just went Pele with an absolute windmill kick to get it out of his zone. He lost his lumber. Absolutely takes a seeing eye kick like it was a corner kick. Argentina versus Colombia back in the day with Diego Maradona. My God, what a leg on that guy. He almost went full. I don't want to say it. I'm not going to say it. Sorry, folks. Anyways, changing the subject. 1905 remaining. I think you know where I was going with that one, Bob.
You're talking about the Fish and Chips League?
I was going to talk about the Fish and Chips League, but I did not want to go there and give that guy any time of the day.
That is the right thing to do. As we are a
Gritty Wallman.
As Jake Gritty Wallman loses the puck, recovers, fires that back up the ice. As here's Draisaitl, the big German machine on the forecheck, making it look easy to win that battle, sending over to the corner. And now I'm doing the play-by-play when I'm not the play-by-play guy, but we're going to let it ride. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Pick it. Free chew, FTL bags, and men's league sweaters.
Don't forget Dryello, and we have a couple more sponsorships. Folks, we're trying to get up to 100 sponsorships. We want this to be like a European professional hockey jersey. We want sponsorships all over, like a walking billboard. Maybe we should offer that, Bob. We just walk around wherever we're going for a coffee. We just have 19 sponsorships over a T-shirt we wear every day. We should actually pitch that to people.
We should, sort of like that tie jacket you're wearing. Yes. You have a couple different sponsorships on there. Also, if there's any sponsorships watching, we will offer you an overlay on the screen. We'll put your logo directly on the screen for a small fee of $25,000 a month.
A game.
Correct.
17:51 remaining here, folks, as we are going to get a look at Dan Vidar, who's going to set that puck up for his defenseman, Noah Juleson, who sends that puck 200 feet. And just like a game of pinball, sometimes you're looking for something and it just ends up hitting nothing. Back to the gutter, back to your side of the rink is Bobby Brink went full, actually half Matt Petgrave there. He didn't try to kill anyone.
Jesus.
But yeah, a great play there by a young Ronaldinho in Bobby Brink. He looked like a young Freddie Adu. Do you remember the name Freddie Adu?
Yes, I do.
He was a world phenom soccer player, made the Olympic team at 14, did not make it at 22 because I think he had a relationship at 14 with one of the coaches.
Ooh, and if you're a coach, ideally you don't want to date players. You don't want to fondle players. That's a problem that a lot of sports have. They hire absolute pedophiles. As here is a good play on the board near the Wegman sign.
As Adam Henrique sends that over to Matthias Janmark, and Matthias Janmark's going to massage that puck like an A5 piece of Wagyu out of Japan. And my God, Brett Kulak with an absolute steered muffin. I believe that was Blueberry, and got the puck on Dan Vidar as Noah Juleson fires a puck across ice, and he's able to hit Mishkov on a little bit of a cross ice seam pass. And that drop play was intercepted and tempted for Sean Couturier. But again, Adam Henrique with a good stick as a great middle slip there by Ty Eberson. And now tracking that puck down the ice is going to be Brett Kulak, who is one of the better defensemen on the Edmonton Oilers. That might not be saying much if you watch this team at a decent amount. Fake clapper there from Nick Seeler as he is able to play that to his defensive partner, Jamie Drysdale, who sends that puck up to Zegras. Former buddies from the Anaheim Ducks days now find themselves back as teammates in Philadelphia. How is the city of Philadelphia going out-wise? I haven't really had a a night there, my friend.
I actually did have a great night there. I was kicked out of a family member's wedding because they are not the nicest people on the planet, but I ended up not having to go to the wedding. So I did Audible, and I ended up at the Ritz-Carlton bar pretending to be rich. And I went out on that street with a bunch of locals, a bunch of Amazon drivers. True story. And it was great. I had a really rowdy night there. The people are diehard. They wear their chin on their sleeve. And I actually had a very, very good night, despite that the city is filled with trash.
That is Philadelphia. That is the scummy, mean streets of Philadelphia. I'm glad you had a great night there, Bob. The Ritz-Carlton. This show is presented by Marriott. If you're a Bonvoy member, well, fuck you. Subscribe, like our show, home by 3. 16-24 as McDavid steps in. That was a nasty play right off the dot. He said, you know what? I'm going to pick your pocket. I'm going to take this puck. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to create my own face-off play right off the right face-off in the Philadelphia Flyers defensive end. That was sick. He just like picked the puck right out of the referee's hand like a pickpocketer in Central Park in broad daylight, just taking the screws of some asshole from Nebraska, finally seeing the Big Apple.
Yep, New York, who newly elected a new mayor, expect to see an uptick in the homeless population as we have 1550 remaining in the second period, 1547, 1546. We're following along with us.
Yeah, and a great little drop play there, reverse play, reverse cowgirl. Cam York went to his D partner, no Diddy on that, over to Travis Sanheim, who sends that puck about 150 feet, and the Edmonton Oilers defense collects it and ends up missing a neutral zone breakout pass intended for Polkozin, but now the Philadelphia Flyers are going to set up a forecheck in their offensive zone as a middle slip play from Evan Bouchard to Polkozin back over to Draisaitl. Draisaitl finds the doctor nurse with a little bit of a break, and fighting that off like a bad cold was Dan Valdar, and now the Philadelphia Flyers attack is established as Travis Konecny misses a pass, and Gritty Wallman is able to punch that back up the wall and goes over to Polkozin as he's able to find Draisaitl with a slip play over to Jack Roslovic. Jack Roslovic surveys his options. A little bit of a pull-up play now, getting the high cycle going as he cuts back again and finds Gritty Wallman, who just hit my shot over. Thank you, Jacob, who famously signed a 7x7 after only 248 games in the National Hockey League. Good for you, Jake, as Draisaitl is working the puck and ragging the Edmonton defense and gets in behind him and sends a puck to the middle of the ice to Paul Coles. And now Jake Wallman walks the puck into the middle of the ice. A cutback play from Draisaitl, eludes a check, down to Roslovic, back up to Draisaitl, muffin on net. Valdar fighting that thing off. Sealer is able to win a battle against Paul Colson, and I'm going to send this over to Gucci because my mouth and throat is getting dry.
14:20 remaining in the second period, folks, as the Philadelphia Flyers have 5 shots on net. You're going to want to have more than 5 shots at this point in the game. You're going to want to keep your feet moving, and you're going to want good goaltending. I learned all of that from PK Subban every time he does a game. He says the same thing over and over in a row, which is a great move by him because his contract's guaranteed. So why put in any effort at all? As here's Matthias Janmark dumping the puck down deep into Zach Rinaldo. Zach Rinaldo gets it back up the wall, intercepted by an Oilers player. Intercepted again, back over to a guy who intercepted from a different guy. As here we see Nick Delorier gets it deep.
Throwing more interceptions than peak prime Jameis Winston, who famously had a 30 touchdown, 30 interception season. The last time we've seen the ESPN 30 for 30. And you mentioned PK Subban at Walt Disney. Now, Walt Disney, famously, they don't fire anybody until your contract is over. You can ask Shannon Sharp. The only way you can really get fired is if you get sued by an OnlyFans chick for north of $50 million.
Kind of nails.
And you settle for $19.5. Folks, That's the price for sex. I might be celibate.
Sometimes it'll cost you a couple bucks to whack an OnlyFans chick.
Anyway,
13:32 remaining in the period. If you're following along with us, mute the goddamn TV and turn on our broadcast. 13:30, 27, 13:26, 13:25 as here's addition in the middle of the ice. And a shot here.
A seeing eye shot by Evan Bouchard, who scores them less than a minute to play in the first period, and a great pass by Connor McDavid as we are getting a look at Philadelphia. And this game has been bunched up, folks. And what I mean, it's been a Brady bunch in the middle of the ice. There's been trapping. There hasn't been a whole lot of connection in terms of 2 or more passes through the neutral zone to build speed. And that's why we're seeing all these long passes that are leading to, well, forechecks, but not successful forechecks. And that's what's making this game really mucky right now, is the fact that through the neutral zone, the game has been a little bit of sloppy toppy. That sloppy top, that movie theater style head. Anyways, we are going to go back to Brett Kulak, who is going to survey his options and throw that puck up again. Another 150 feet, but so many missed passes through the neutral zone because it's bottled up. And if you're watching this game with us at home, folks, or if you're just synced up and visualizing it in your own bed, I'm going to paint a picture for you like Picasso. There's about 8 bodies in between the offensive zone blue line and the defensive zone blue line. So it's really mucked up through that area where it's hard to skate through that quicksand. You can't make a ton of passes, but they're trying. It's just there's not a lot of lanes there. So that creates a offense to then spread out, get less connected, longer stretch passes, which leads to icings, turnovers, and that's what we've seen a lot, especially in the second period, Bob.
A lot of sloppy play, Swish. If you're Rick Tocchet right now, what are you saying to your squad being outshot 20-5 nearly halfway through this hockey match? Yeah,
the Edmonton Oilers, look, they've had a little bit more zone time. I wouldn't say a ton. They've had a couple more chances in terms of some odd man rushes. But even then, as Nick Delorier throws his shoulder into Brett Kulak, it hasn't been their best night either, per se. But if you're Rick Tocchet and you're the Philadelphia Flyers, I think you got to really simplify this game. I think you have to try to, yes, you need the stress passes because Edmonton is playing a very good system through the neutral zone, but I think you need to get skating faster. You need to create lanes. You need to have a slash support breakout. There's different things that I think they can do with their feet that will end up getting them to play faster with and without the puck. Right now, they just kind of look stagnant, and they look like they're just trying to make too many long plays and force a lot.
Yeah, I am predicting a fight in the upper deck of the arena. If we don't see a big hit to somebody's chin in the next 5 minutes, the Philadelphia faithful, known to keep it violent as their union jobs, do not fire them for disorderly conduct tickets in public. Here's a shot by Trevor Zegras over to Zach Ronaldo.
Yeah, there was a decent chance there. Zegras was able to find a late attacker. Number 36 for the Philadelphia Flyers must have under 100 games because I have no idea this name, and I usually know NHL regulars. I know everything over here, folks. Just ask me. This is the largest hockey show in the world. It's a great stick there by Paul Colson, who was able to push that away from Christian Dvorak, who attempted a saucer pass as Trevor Zegras did a little zig and zag, and he's making his way through the neutral zone. And that's a nice little play to Mishkov, and a great block there by the doctor, and that's why they pay him 9 and a hook. Not to make a play with his 2 backhands. What was the doctor? Why is he forechecking there?
That is the doctor. That is $9 million.
The doctor just flipped one out and then self-forechecked. And then that did absolutely nothing and then went for a change. That is the doctor. He can do it all, folks.
Here's Michkov attempting a Michigan. Oh, my God. You're lucky John Fertarella isn't on that bench.
Tortorella, yeah, they should have that on Prize Picks as well. How many Michigan attempts is Mishkov or Zegras going to have in a game combined? And they should set the line at like 3.5.
It's absolutely nothing short of hysterical to attempt a Michigan halfway through the game when you have only 6 shots on net. Yep. That is Russian hockey, folks. That is the CCCP. We stand with.
And a great play there by Tyson Forrester, who had a great play. He not only a great play, but he had a great world championship, and Sidney Crosby was able to give him his flowers and say this young man is a bright spot in Philadelphia. But again, folks, take it with a grain of salt because the Canadian team did lose to Denmark over there because they went out 14 straight nights. That's what happens when you go to the JV tournament. People don't actually care about the hockey. They just want to booze.
And that's the inside information that you're going to get when you tune into the HB3 Altcast. We're going to tell you what guys are going out. We're going to tell you guys that have bad habits. Guys. Yeah, we are going to sewer guys for hundreds of views because that's just the business we're in, as here's a missed opportunity in the slot by Corey Perry as number 49 gets it deep in the corner.
That's Ty Eberson, the pride of Eau Claire, Wisconsin, who played his college hockey at the University of Wisconsin and gets a look there, a great beat chance in the slot as, again, Valdar was able to steer that in the corner here, folks. He's getting a lot of action. Not a lot of action is Stuart Skinner, which believes me to think that, you know what, Philadelphia, despite getting outshot right now 23-6, Rob, they're only one shot away. And when you get a little bit nauseated and you fall asleep and it almost feels like you took an Ambien because you're not getting a ton of work, that is where you can strike on a guy like Stuart Leonard Skinner. So look for maybe the next one to maybe be a squeaker.
That is human psychology. Here's a play by Pozlokin. Throws it on net and then back up to the doctor at the point, back down to Pozlokin, back up to the point, over to McAvoy, down to Jackaboy, over to Packaboy. This is brought to you by TD Garden, over to Packaboy, over to Jackaboy. Oh, and a missed opportunity right there. As that pass was a little bit off the mark, over to Packaboy, over to Jackaboy, back up to McAvoy, over to Packaboy, over to Jackaboy, back up to pass Mac down to Hash Mac, over to TD Garden Bank, over to circling.
Go for another lap.
Go for Jeff Skinner over to Packaboy, and there's a save by Ryan Boucher, and I got to take a piss.
Was that Jack Roslovic or was that Tony Stewart? Well, I guess we'll never know. One guy killed a dude. The other guy just went 500 laps around the track. Jack Roslovic going for a absolute hot lap, Hot Wheels special. Folks, we're going to take a break here, and we're going to go to the chat. I'm going to pull it up on my phone, so if you think I'm sexting some random person, well, I'm not. I'm simply doing this for you, the people, as we thank you for tuning in to the biggest show in the world. We do have tickets on sale for our shows coming up. December the 3rd, Chicago at Zany's downtown Old Town. Go buy the tickets, $9.15. The next night, it's going to be a back-to-back. We're going to Milwaukee. We're going to the guts of Wisconsin. Shout out to all the good chins in Cheesehead country. Those are my people. We will be in Milwaukee on the 4th, Buffalo, New York on the 6th, as well as Pittsburgh, PA on the 10th. So go buy the tickets. Check it out, homebuy3.shop, as well as you can get our latest merchandise all on there. If you've ordered in the last couple of weeks, we do apologize, but we have just transferred our merch over to a new system. Things will be flowing way more smoothly. So be on the look for your merch within the next week. Thank you for staying with us. We do see your emails. We do see your death threats. We do see all the comments, everything in between. But thank you again. Just stay with us here, folks. We are going to have a way more well-oiled machine.
Folks, this episode is this fucking game is brought to you by Prize Picks. Fucking go to Prize Picks and fucking make a parlay. The merch is now being handled by an outside source that we are underpaying through modern slavery. And that's unfortunate for us, but we need to have somebody else handle it while we're on the road as we get a look at Ashlyn with a Y. I love when chicks have their names spelled differently. It just gives off a different kind of vibe. And I really like that as we get a look at the Philadelphia Flyers.
As we get a look at Jay Verde. Jay Verde, Tom Reardon, the assistant coaches there. Jay Verde, who famously coached in Tucson. Bob, he coached one of your best buddies, Bo Bennett.
Shout out to Bo Bennett.
So Jay Verde, you're lucky that Bo Bennett gave you a job, and he continued your career because he had a hell of a season, and you made the playoffs that year. From there, you went up the I-10, and you joined Rick Tocchet on his staff with the Arizona Desert Dogs, and you found your way as one of the disciples of Rick Tocchet, and you're back on the bench with him. So good on you, Bo Bennett. If you're listening tonight, Tiki, keep the chin tucked. We love you, brother. 7:56 remaining here in this game as Jack Roslovic getting a lot of ice time. By God, does he have a welding shield on tonight? I don't know if he has the extended PK Sluban visor, or the Ray Ferraro chicken parm visor, but holy fact, that thing is down to his chin.
Shout out to Ray Ferraro calling the game in between the glass. Horrible impression as Ekholm sends it up the wall. And that's going to be intercepted by Jeff Carter. Jeff Carter bumps up to Mike Richards.
Ooh, Mike Richards. That's a jersey I got to get.
Back down, and that's going to be frozen on net by Evgeny Nabokov as we get a little bit of a scrum here as Nick Delorier is not happy with what's going on in front of the Oilers goaltending here. And
Nick Delorier looking for one, but it's like, Nick, nobody on this Edmonton roster is going to give you a fight. Maybe the doctor would, but the doctor's too rich. He's not going to fight heavyweights anymore. When you're making 9 and a hook, you're simply just not going to fight a guy making $1 million. It's like when you're a chick on Instagram and you have 20 million followers. Do you think she's going to respond to a DM with a guy with 1,000? No. You can be the hottest guy in the world, the richest guy. She wants clout. She wants nice things. She wants to be seen. You offer None of that.
She will not respond to you unless you are literally Bad Bunny. 7:33 remaining in the second period here. Brought to you by GMC Prize Picks, Free Pouch, OnlyFans,
Cialis.
FTL bags, Cialis, and Men's League sweaters. If you're following along, the puck is about to be dropped. 7:33 as here's Adam Henrique, a veteran in the league, up to Packboy, over to McAvoy.
7:27, as Bob said a couple seconds ago, and as Noel Ulson is going to go back to the puck. That guy's like a cat in a back alley. He has 9 lives. He's like 50 Cent getting shot 9 times. He's like Paul Pierce getting stabbed in a Boston nightclub 14 times. Some guys, they're like cockroaches. You just can't kill them. For whatever reason, Noel Ulson has found a home in Philadelphia, and good on him, because sometimes it only takes one person to fool. We're still trying to figure out that person over here at home by 3, but nonetheless, we will stay with our chins tucked. 6:55. Again, if you're following along, it's 1-0. The Edmonton Oilers shots right now are 24-7, like 7-11, Bob. 24-7. This game is open. Stuart Skinner getting his first touch, I believe, in the last 10-odd minutes, as there's another commercial break. We're looking at the Rocky statue in Philadelphia through a 2018 57-inch Sony TV.
Let's take it to the chat, folks, during the 1 minute that we have, as we see pharmaceutical commercials on our TV telling us that we need medication, even though most things can be healed through sunlight and not eating like a fucking fat piece of shit. As we get to the chat, we want Gucci and Net versus 93.1. We did that once, actually. I don't know if we're going to do it again. Why are we making things actually work? I liked it better when it took months to get my merch. Well, Swish, maybe we'll reconsider outsourcing our fulfillment center.
Yeah, we've had chargebacks. We've had people email us. We've had hate threats.
Death
we've
threats.
had people stop by our house and literally try to come into the confinements of our home. Somehow they find our addresses. There's been strikes. We've seen people. There's been everything, Bob. There's
people have tried to hook up with
doxing us. So there's a whole list of things why we're changing our merch. And the good news is for you guys is it's going to be cleaned up. And there's going to be new merch on the way very soon before Christmas. It'll go out quick. It's seamless. It's a nice process. So you can thank us later. If you thought Santa Claus was coming early, home by 3 is real early.
Your merch is guaranteed by Christmas, not by Hanukkah. And that's nothing to do with our stance on
Hanukkah,
Israel.
Is Hanukkah, it always changes. Like last year was like in April or some shit.
Hanukkah this year is around December to remember Lexus sales event. As we get a look at this day in history of the Philadelphia Flyers, somehow there was hockey going on in 1967 and they beat the Bruins 4-2 at Boston Garden. Jack Edwards was actually the head coach of that team after he ripped a bong in the Marriott before the game, famously known to absolutely hotbox hotel hall rooms. Bernie Parent made 37 saves in the win. Joe Watson recorded his first career goals. And I don't know who any of these people are, Swish. And it just goes to show that nothing really matters.
Bernie Praw was a very big student of the game, as we're getting a live looking at Keith Jones.
Shout out to Keith Jones.
Shout out to Jonesy. He's looking better, man. Last year, he was drinking way too many IPAs, and he ended up blowing up like an absolute turkey on Thanksgiving. But he looks good. His chin has been always tucked. The pride of Western Michigan. That Baltimore Skipjacks team, Bob, that when we had Kenny Albert on was just amazing to hear all the names. Kenny Albert was the play-by-play guy. Barry Trotz was an assistant coach. Keith Jones was on the team. Joel Quinville was a grizzled veteran who just got sent down from the NHL to the AHL. A ton of names on that team. Why I'm saying that, not sure, but it has a little bit of significance what we're tying into old-time hockey. Speaking of old-time hockey, well, I missed the Ed Schneider days of the Philadelphia Flyers when they just beat the shit out of every team. He would pay the guys in all cash. He was almost like a Russian mob boss. If you play well, here's 10 grand. I am the Frank Lucas of Philadelphia. 6:15 remaining here, folks. Again, if you're just tuning in with us, thank you for tuning into the biggest show in the world. This is a show about a show. If you know anyone in Saudi, we would love to connect with them.
Love to connect.
We want to do a deal with Live Golf. We have ideas for tennis. We obviously have ideas for hockey. We just want 100 million of that dirty money. Folks, if there's one thing you can learn in life, all money is dirty. It doesn't matter where you get it.
Right, you are.
5:50 remaining here is Philadelphia. Well, they've had some time over the last 4 minutes, anyhow, with 2 timeouts that just worked out for the TV schedule. But you got to think Rick Tocchet and that coaching staff has been like, all right, boys, it's time to wake up. It's time to start playing hockey. We've been kind of gun shy all night. And the thing is we're not making anything happen. And the next thing you know, this game's going to be over. So wake the fuck up and let's start skating because they haven't done it all night, Bob.
They have not done anything.
And they're going to get a penalty here. So they're going to get the
Scott Hartnell was hooked, and we're going to have an opportunity for the Philadelphia Flyers to go to the peeper here. And Dave Haxtell is absolutely non-emotional about the play. We're going to take it to the chat right now. The tie jacket was a hit in Edmonton Swish. One of the most famous jackets to ever be worn by 93, 90, 90, 90, 90, 93.1.
93, 93, 90, 90, 90. Somebody clip this. 93, 93, 93, 93, 93, 93, 93, 90, 90, 90, 90, 93, 3, 3, 3. Can you hear me in Edmonton? Can you hear me in Calgary? Can you hear me over there in Spruce Grove? Can you hear me in Sherwood Park? Can you hear me in Lloydminster? Can you hear me in Moose Jaw? Can you hear me over there in Saskatoon? Can you hear me in Foam Lake? Can you hear me over there in Winnipeg? Can you hear me back there in Flin Flon, Manitoba? 93, 93, 93.1.
Devin Allen in the chat asking if I came straight from a funeral. You are absolutely correct. My entire family died tragically from eating bad sushi, and I was not there. I was not invited. So everyone is dead besides me. The funeral was today, and I came right to this broadcast because this is the hardest working hockey show in Northeast Scottsdale, folks. We appreciate this. And also, somebody in the chat scoped it out. Gooch is moving like his spine is broken. You might be onto something, but this is an undisclosed injury I am playing through. When can we get Zach Cassie Chin on the show?
Love to get Cass on. He's a hard dude to track down between being in a cigar room in Windsor, Ontario, having 3 or 4 kids, and riding his Harley. It's tough to track down the Cass. Last time I actually talked to Cass, he wanted to ship his motorcycle to my place. And he was going to go for a ride from, I believe, starting in Tucson, Bob, all the way up through Colorado and then over through Nebraska. And I think it was going to be about a 9-month trip where he was capping it off in late July at Sturgis in South Dakota. How you feeling there, brother? How's that upper body ailment treating you? You look a little stiff over there. Is the neck okay? The chin is tucked, but is the neck all right?
I'm just trying to keep my chin tucked, and I'm loving that route by Zach Cassian. There's nothing like a motorcycle cross-country drive with your boys. You stop off the Route 66. You get sucked off for $42 and a bag of beef jerky. We wish Zach Cassian all the best on his motorcycle journeys across the country. As we're going to get a look at the first power play unit for the Philadelphia fucking Flyers. Owen Tippett, Sean Confertier, Konecny, Scott Hartnell, and Adam Graves.
What is Mishkov's first name, by the way? Ivan?
Mitchell
Michkov sends that puck over to Sean Couturier. Couturier back to Cam York. Cam York has been gift wrapped every NHL game he's played up until this point. I think he's a good kid, but anyways, in the league today, you don't really have to prove your stay. You just have to, keep them guessing and keep them believing. As Journey once said, don't stop believing. And that is the message from Cam York's agent to Keith Jones every time they go to negotiations every summer, as it almost ends up in arbitration. But that's a story for another day for the Huntington Beach native, I believe San Diego, my apologies. 1:17 remaining here in the power play, 4:35 if you're following along on the game clock. Great play from Konecny over to Mishkov, back up to the top of the key to, Cam York, who is a Michigan scholar, not a grad. I believe he played 2 years there, but he's done a thing in Ann Arbor. And oh my God, Mishkov with an absolute John Beebe labeled with traffic in front, a seeing eye shot, able to get Philadelphia on the board. Bob, I'm not going to toot my own horn, if you will, but what did I say? Stuart Skinner has been lulled to sleep, probably on what he feels like Ambien, and the next shot on net has a good chance of going in.
And maybe that's a part of Rick Tockett's game plan here as we watch how the play unfolds.
That can't go in.
Matvei Michkov with his head up the entire time picks an absolute booger. And Stuart Skinner, a little bit interference by Ekholm.
Yeah.
His cheeks are on his chin a little bit, but you're gonna want that one back.
Yeah, well, it's hard for Skinner there with Ekholm, who he thinks is going for the block, but he ends up kind of being in front of him and limiting his ability to get his glove out and go get that puck. I'm not a goaltender, but all the goalie coaches always would teach, go grab that puck, especially through traffic if you can. Don't let it hit you. If you can go extend and get it and go grab it, just like a fly ball or a catch in football. Catch it at its highest point, Bob. I think Stuart Skinner was trying to do that. but Matthias Ekholm, the big Viking he is, was in the way. So he's kind of hesitant, and Mishkov finds the twine.
You are always going to want to go for a nice grab as long as it is consensual. 3:45 remaining in the second period, folks. 3:43, 3:42. As Mark Messier scoops that high out of the zone, and that'll go for an icing.
How many fucking icings have there been tonight?
Way too many.
Sorry, Doc Emmerich wouldn't say that, and I'm trying to channel my inner Doc, but how many icings have there been tonight? I think I've watched probably 6 hockey games this year, like full through. Usually I just watch and scout. But this game, I think, has featured at least double-digit icings, if not more. Meta Mishkov able to get his 3rd goal in as many nights. 3:36 here in the second frame, 1-1. Shots right now 24-8 in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. They're out shooting them 3-1, but on the score clock, it don't matter. It is 1-1 right in the guts of Broad Street at Xfinity Mobile Arena. As Christian Dvorak, who is playing a lot under Rick Tocchet, almost 20 minutes a night, Bob, for his former coach in Arizona, looks good tonight. He's always low and slow underneath the puck. And as a defenseman, that is your dream. A centerman that comes back for you through the dots, presents as an option. As Trevor Zegras, I don't know if he was, you never know if Zegras is faking a shot or he just whiffs on it. It's just, that's how out there he is.
He does play a Santa Monica roller hockey brand of hockey that I personally enjoy. I know a lot of people don't like it, especially the old white Republicans that are fans of this game. I personally like seeing his creativity and his ability to not really give a shit about systems. He's going to take that puck and be creative, and that's kind of exactly what you want out of a guy like Zegras. You got to let him play his game swish.
Yeah, he's a guy that you would have thought would have grown up, like you said, in Santa Monica or San Diego, skating alongside Chucky Slick. Yes. Shout out to Chucky Slick, by the way.
But he is a Long Island boy, and shout out to Long Island, Strong Island.
Where's he from in Long Island? Is he like Sonny Milano?
Yeah, he's like near him. He's from like Bedford.
Okay.
Sonny Milano.
Yeah, he's from Bedford.
Yeah, Bedford.
Where's that?
That's on Strong Island. It's Nassau County.
Okay.
That's Sonny McFerda is Massapequa, which is also Nassau County, a little bit south of Bedford. I believe I could be getting that wrong. But there's also 500 towns.
I know.
In Long Island, Swiss. It should really be a state of its own. And especially with all the immigrants coming in on trains, they're creating more towns, a lot of unincorporated towns. But we're not going to get into that. 2:30 remaining in the second period here. This game is brought to you by fucking GMC. The lottery, play to win. Even though the lottery is just simply a tax on poor people, this game is brought to you by the lottery. As here's Brett Kulak scooping it up to Jeff Skinner, who takes a hit to make a play out of the zone.
And you got to wonder if Brett Kulak went in that corner a little bit hesitant with Garnett Hathaway, because Garnett Hathaway famously has breath that could literally kill you or blow you over. So you got to think 6 feet away, you're safe. And that's exactly the approach Kulak went with. And actually, Hathaway, he might have been smoking his own toke there. He was able to blow himself over, and ultimately Kulak was able to pick up that puck and make a breakout pass. Folks, 151 rum. Shout out to who sang that song back in the day?
Tech 151 rum. Tech 9.
Make baby girl
Great guy.
come. Folks, if you're coming, well, come along with Home by 3. We got shows at our Let It Snow tour coming up all over December. Coming on December. A December to remember, a Let It Snow type of effort. As well as we've been shouting that out. Go over to homeby3.shop for all your latest. As Leon Draisaitl absolutely dances and just ballerina twirls around Nick Seeler like it was his first dance at his wedding and his last. 1:15 remaining as Seeler is able to chip that puck out, and Evan Bouchard surveys his options as he backs up and ultimately gets going forward again. And another turnover by Bouchard. He is apple, he is pear, he is grape, he is all the turnovers you can ever imagine sitting there at a pastry smorgasbord. Under a minute here.
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
also Trevor Zegras is not from Long Island. I always do that.
Connecticut?
No, Bedford's in New York. It's just a little bit north of the city. So,
he's from like the New Rochelle area then.
Yeah, I always say that too. Even last year I was saying he's a Long Island guy. He's just not.
Okay. So
that's my bad, folks.
What is that area north of the city called? Like New Rochelle? Like there's like it's almost like on the Connecticut line.
Yeah, it's almost just a lot of finance guys that want to get away from the homeless people that are pissing all over the street. I don't exactly, pretty much to me, Swish, anything north of the upper east side of Manhattan is upstate.
That is upstate. Shout out to Georgia State. Shout out to all the HBCUs and my favorite place in the world, Magic City. 14 seconds remaining here as there was a battle, almost like a fencing battle that you'd see in a park on a random July day in Dane County, Wisconsin.
Folks,
yep.
No, I was going to say, we're going to get a little bit of. Oh, I thought there was going to be some action going on there. Folks, sorry to cut you off there, Swish.
Oh, you're good.
Chinnipeg, we can't wait for you either. We will be there all weekend smoking, drinking, and only talking to dudes. We cannot wait to see you. We are doing a podcast, not over the speakers of the Bard Shark Club, but we're doing our own show. You're more than welcome to stand there and watch us do the show. We're professionals. We could do this under pressure. And hey, if you have enough charisma, we might just invite you to hop on the show. Who the fuck knows? And then we'll be hanging around from 5 to 7 p.m. Manitoba Standard Time to mix it up with the fans.
7 seconds, 7.4 as Christian Dvorak steps in. He's getting a defensive assignment. He's ultimately kicked out by number 75, the linesman. So Trevor Zegras steps in against Matty Savoie on his forehand side as Zegras is able to steer that into the corner. Nick Seeler with a little bit of an escape play, and he's going to rag that puck all the way in to the final horn of the second period. 1-1, end of 2. Mativ Mishkov puts the Philadelphia Flyers on the board as the shots right now 24-11 in favor of the Edmonton Oilers in Alberta. Shout out to all the good people of Alberta. Shout out to the Cactus Club on Jasper. Folks, we love you in Edmonton. We love you in Philadelphia. We love you from Nebraska to Alaska. Are we going to take a break here for the second frame and we'll be back?
We're going to take a break for this intermission, and Mordella, you're absolutely right, or Mordechai, sorry. Folks, we will be doing a call-in show on Friday morning. A lot of people in the chat are asking about a call-in segment. We'll be doing that Friday morning. You can call in with hockey talk shit about your ex-girlfriend, your relationship issues, your daddy issues. Tell us about how you went to jail when you really didn't do it. Folks, we're going to be back for the third period. This is the Home by 3 Altcast presented by motherfucking Men's League Sweaters. We'll be right back.
Folks, welcome back to the third period. The Men's League Sweater Game of the Week. Bob Gucci, Jay Swish, home by 3. The alternate cast you can't get anywhere else. The largest hockey show in the world. The most female listeners. The biggest demographic of people. You're talking to a guy. You're listening to a guy talk that bridged the pronoun community to the right. And speaking of right, Bob, right away, we're going to have a Edmonton Oilers power play as the Philadelphia Flyers are starting this period shorthanded after a little bit of a dust-up off the opening draw there, a high twig. I believe Tyson Forrester went to the sin bin. But if you're just tuning in with us, 1945 remaining here in the third frame, 1-1. Coverage you can't get anywhere else, Bob. As we're going to get a whistle here for offsides as Evan Bouchard was not able to corral that puck from Leon Draisaitl at the blue line.
Connor McDavid, 1.94 points a game versus the Flyers. This guy is an absolute freak, a Flyer killer, but he does kill most of the teams in this league. It's too easy for him. 1939 remaining as we see a Oilers peeper here. See what they could do, Swish. Win the game, win the period, as all the announcers say the same exact thing.
You got to love your AAA Pee-wee coach coming into the locker room at some shitty rink in Massachusetts telling you, win the period, win the game. No shit, coach. Are you half in the bag? Shout out to all the drunk youth hockey coaches out there.
Yes.
Keep drinking, keep smoking, keep fucking and tucking. Speaking of tucking, well, I could really use a Connor McDavid power play point here. Shout out to Prize Picks. Shout out to Gambling on Sports. Do it responsibly, Bob.
Of course. And even if it's not responsibly, that's really not our fucking problem. We're all adults here. Make your own decisions. As here's Draisaitl to the slot, handled by Zach Hyman, over across to Mark Messier. As Draisaitl
was that on the net or no?
Shots. Fuck.
I'm not sure if that hit the net or if that was a errant shot that ended up high and wide and high and dry. Like a lot of times, single men end up on a Friday night. Sometimes you think you're going to go on vacation with a gal you met 7 minutes ago, and the next thing you know, she's ghosting you, gave you a fake number, and you'll never see her again. Speaking of never see you again, Evan Bouchard, check your lumber, fella, because that thing might be broke. You might never see that twig again. 18-14 remaining here in the third frame as Evan Bouchard is going to go for a change, and he gives the puck over to his defensive unit partner, Matthias Ekholm, as Ike Dwight Howard fires a biscuit like he was shooting at a gun range outside of his hometown in Somerset, Wisconsin, but no luck for Ike as he's been struggling early on in the season, getting adjusted to the National Hockey League.
A lot of traffic in front. Good play by Mark Letestu to get to the front of the net there to provide some screening for the rookie Ike Howard. Number 53, not a jersey that's retired by the Oilers for Jeff Skinner. Here's Travis Kaferta getting involved with Mick Harley-Davidson, starting shit as he normally does. We take a look at Mick Stevenson, who sent it over to Draisaitl, but that's a good twig by Sean Couturier.
And then he finds, he didn't even get wood on that as this 1080p HD TV did not pick up on that. But what we did pick up on was Ike Howard with a little bit of sweet, sweet chin music delivered to the skull of Dan Valdar Gaydar Radar. 17:35 remaining here in the third frame. If you're just tuning in for us, it's nonstop, jam-packed hockey action on a hockey show over here at Home by 3, the alternate cast. We will be in Winnipeg, Manitoba, baby, this weekend for the oldest trophy in sports, the 112th edition of the Grey Cup. If you're in Winnipeg, we will be at Shark Club on Saturday, November 15th. Yes, this Saturday, for a meet and greet live pod. Come hang out. Luke Wilson stopping by. A CFL center, I believe, from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers is going to stop by. I believe he's put in a day shift at Canadian Tire, and then he will be popping by to come on the program. Don't know his name, but when I do learn it, I will be sure to shake his hand and greet his chin.
A center in the CFL, that's a guy that has a firm gooch. Shout out to the chat. Get that thing buzzing. We have Penguins, our champs, in the chat saying, my favorite gay Chinese hockey podcast is live. Right you are, Ken. Daddy Fat Sack in the chat, and OG, friend of the show. I just put this on for my 5-year-old son. He needs to learn the game the right way. We appreciate that. Sarge is in the chat.
Shout out to Shards. Shout out to Daddy Fat Wrench. And shout out to all the women, all the beautiful women of Home by 3. We thank you for all tuning in, all 3,000 of you out there just quietly waiting a chance for a call out, quietly sitting in the weeds listening to two of your favorite voices in hockey. Thank you to all the good women out there, especially on Industry Night. Shout out to Cornbread. Shout out to all our OnlyFan gals. Well, that frankly love us for who we are. We love you too, ladies.
Ladies, we are an inclusive, safe space for women here in this chat. 17 minutes remaining here. 16:56, 16:55. If you're following along with us on TV, as here is Mike Richards getting that puck deep, scooped up by Taylor Hall for Eberle, but that puck was missed and sent back out.
As Jamie Drysdale makes a skate move and he's able to play that puck up the ice. That kind of got busted up a little bit in and around his own blue line, but the Philadelphia Flyers are able to establish an attack as Nick Seeler throws that puck. A no-look sifter to the cage, and it had a little bit of steam and a little bit of action until, well, Nick Seeler picks up the puck again, and he rounds the net, and he's able to get cut off there by Evan Bouchard, who displays a rare occurrence of playing defense. He went stick on puck. No diddy on that, as Philadelphia playing a three-quarter game here as number 27, I don't know your name. I'm sorry. Chemo Team. Sammy Kapanen throws a puck on net. I got to learn some of these younger Flyers. I apologize, folks. We were in the lab all day. I was not able to make my depth chart. But rule number 76, no excuses. Play like a champion. I do need to know this roster a little bit more. I will study tonight, and hopefully you will. We're going to get another penalty holding on the Edmonton Oilers, as I believe Ty Eberson is going to make his way to the box. 24-year-old Eau Claire, Wisconsin native who played 3 seasons at the University of Wisconsin. 15:48 remaining. Shots 26-13 in favor of the Edmonton Oilers, and we'll wait the call here from Strips. As Ty Eberson, yes, is definitely going to sit down. He's a former captain at a Big Ten school that wasn't any good when he was at school, but that's neither here nor there. He's made himself a staple in Edmonton on the third pair bomb on the right side. And you know who I feel for is a friend of the show, Troy Stetcher, who is on the trading block. Sounds like they're not going to play him a ton unless there's injuries, and they're looking to find him a soft landing and a new home.
I would love to see a guy like that in Washington, D.C. or Toronto. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm just throwing out team names. Stetcher, friend of the show, great guy. Only met him once, but great guy.
Made an everlasting impression on Bob Gucci, if you will, folks. 15:44 remaining. A former North Dakota Fighting Sioux national champion 2016 is Troy Stetcher. 10-year veteran, folks. If you're an NHL GM listening to this or a scout, because I know all you tune in, you just won't admit it, Troy Stetcher is definitely on the block. He's looking again at finding a new home in the National Hockey League with a lot of game to play and a lot to give to not only a locker room, but to a third pair. As Philadelphia back on the power play, Bob, if they want to, compete and win this game, you got to think they got to capitalize on one of these 5-on-4 chances, because this could very well be their last one of the night.
It's very important to capitalize on a power play. It's sort of like getting the opportunity to double up in the casino, go big or go home. You have to take advantage of this point in the game, as there is a missed shot wide by Danny Briere. And that puck is going to get sent out deep. Oh, kept in by Matt Reed. He's going to send it down to the corner.
Yeah, Yuri Laterra picks up that puck. And, folks, the famous Yuri Laterra story, he had a really good dealer back home in Finland. We'll leave it at that. If you don't know, don't snow. 45 seconds remaining here. As we remember, in the second period, Philadelphia had 5 odd shots on net, 7 or 8. And then they ended up scoring on a very opportunistic play from Mishkov. Now, can they do it again on the power play? That's how they scored their first goal. They haven't had a ton of offense all night, but But if there's one thing that can keep you in the game, Rob, it is good specialty teams. Philadelphia, they have been perfect to this point on the penalty kill as well as the power play. 20 seconds still left here as the second unit is on the ice as Trevor Zegras massages that puck like he's massage envy. At the School of Hard Knocks as Tyson Forrester throws one on the cage, and I'm not sure if that was off iron, off of Skinner, or ended up somewhere in between a rock and a hard place. Folks, thank you for tuning in to the biggest show in the world. We always appreciate you. This is the live alternate cast of Home by 3, the biggest show in Arizona, the biggest show in the world.
Dan Vladar rocking number 80. We have two goalies, number 74 and number 80. Two unique goalie numbers back in the day in the Marty Brodeur era before he was whacking his sister's or his wife's sister. Used to rock a number in the 30s, and that's what most goalies did. Here is Travis Sanheim moving the puck north, gets it deep in the corner like the veteran he is, and that's going to be a forecheck by Maxime Talbot.
Yeah, that was during the suffrage movement, you know what I mean? In terms of that was the suffrage in hockey when Lou Lamoriello, he made you shave your bush, he made you make your bed, he made you pick a number between 1 and 30, and if you went off script, you were traded or you were ended up somewhere outside of Fall River, Massachusetts in a snowbank.
Shout out to the Springfield Thunder Pigeons, who were the home of NHL veteran James Neal, who was famously known for elbowing people directly in the head on the back check in the neutral zone.
A lot of NHL veterans have came through Springfield recently. Now playing there is Milan Lucic, who well, had a season off the sheet and now finds himself in the American Hockey League looking to make a push back to the NHL, wearing a visor. I don't like to see the big Luch in a visor, but it is what it is, and it ain't what it isn't. Do we have anyone in the chat that would like to ask a question, have a comment, or voice anything on the top of their chin? The time is yours. You have roughly 60 seconds and counting.
Folks, get that chat buzzing for the next 25 seconds. We are here for you during this commercial break. GMC Sierras are now 20% below MSRP, and the only reason why trucks are discounted right now is because they took the cheap way out and cut corners during the pandemic, and they manufactured them as shitty as possible. So you really think you're getting a deal? You're absolutely not. Shout out to the $5 Canadian dollar water on the table. Shout out to McDiddy69, one of the most creative names in the chat. Will the fellas be occupying the Rum Hut Sunday?
The Rum Hut?
Yes.
Where is that?
I don't know where that is. It's a question incoming via Twitter. His name is Barry McNutt, and Tiger Woods is his profile picture. So I guarantee you he is a kid in finance that has a burner account. Would you rather have your chin tucked or your brows tucked? Ooh.
Chin for sure. But then, I mean, it's a close second, right? Brows are important. I would say it goes chin, brows, forearms in that order. And you know what? You also have to have tucked your fight strap.
That's correct, Swish. Rematch, Biz and Wit and the Sandbagger. We have no say over that. We would love to do that. You have to tweet at them. Demand is what makes the world go round, and it's exactly what's happening overseas, where Amazon is using Taiwanese babies to manufacture other products. As we take a look here, Travis Konechny, who has 1 assist, 1 shot, and 3 hits tonight. He is contributing for this Philadelphia Flyer team that's trying to win a period at home to win the game. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, Free Chew, FTL Bags, Men's League Sweaters. What's the foot company?
Dryellow.com. Now, don't be ashamed of athlete's foot. Just treat it. Do it together. 2 sticks together. It not only prevents athlete's foot, Bob, but it can treat it in real time. 30 days is the recommended time. It is a athlete's foot product, an antifungal stick, the first one ever in its field. And it's easy. It just glides. It glides like Cale Makar, like a deodorant stick, right on the area that you need treatment on your gross feet. But tough times don't last. Tough people do. And this is a really good product. So, fellas, if you don't want to admit it, you want to get rid of your stinky feet, your fungal feet, go over to dryellow.com. Promo code CHIN15 gets you 15% off all of your antifungal stick needs. 12:35 remaining in the third frame as Connor McDavid surveys his option. He does a little bit of a cutback play on Travis Konecny and sends that puck down to Matty Savoie. Matty Savoie corrals that puck in the trapezoid. An errant pass by Matthias Ekholm over to his partner, Evan Bouchard. And it was an errant pass to the point where it came out of the zone. We are going to have another whistle on the play offsides as the Edmonton Oilers are going to change their forward unit. And Connor McDavid shaking his head, shaking his chin, saying, holy fuck, fellas, let's figure it out. Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid now playing together alongside Matty Savoie. Majapani slides down to the second line, I believe, but Chucky Knobloch making an in-game decision to go with a two-headed horse, a monster at the top of the lineup. I like the move by Chuck. You need goals, fella. This game stinks.
It ain't working. Fix it. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Love the in-game moves by a veteran coach to try to will this team the fucking victory in this very important game mid-November, folks. We are having a Black Friday sale, a White Friday sale, a Blue Lives Matter sale on our website in just a matter of days, I think. And, here's an absolute turnover and drop pass for Trevor Zegras, the pride of Bedford, not Medford. And there is a save by Evgeny Nabokov.
Stuart Skinner, that was the talk of camp, not because he came in looking good. It's because he went on Ozempic. It was actually an underlying deal he did with the Canadian government and the healthcare program to, show the good people of Canada, when you do get a doctor's appointment after 6 months of being on hold, you can indeed lose weight, and you can do it in a reasonable time frame. So shout out to Stuart Skinner on taking the bait on that one. Please do not use this for defamation or slander. I am simply just spewing shit out of my own mouth, not even my mouth, out of my ass, because during a 2-hour broadcast, you do have to spice things up. 11:40 remaining here as Mishkov gets the puck in and along the goal line as Brett Kulak is able to angle him off and steer the puck up to Curtis Lazar. Curtis Lazar plays it over to Adam Henrique, and they're going to go on a little bit of a forecheck as number 36 on the Philadelphia Flyers picking that puck up was scared shitless, and good thing he didn't play 10 years ago because his chin would have been put into the third row. Trevor Zegras, we need shots. He tries to get one for the boys there, but it is deflected out of play.
This game fucking sucks, so we're going to take it to the chat right now. Boys, I broke up with my situationship of 2 months because she wanted to go to Fort Charles. Is that baseball? With all due respect, I do not know what Fort Charles is. Swish, to you?
Yeah, it's a place in New York. It's got one of the best burgers. That's the spot where Jackson Dart was asking Eli Manning to get into.
Oh, okay.
Fort Charles Prime. They only have about 5 or 6 tables in there. So I don't know what kind of motion or aura this guy asking the question has, because you do need a guy to get into that spot or a reservation probably longer than 2 months out. So I would say, bro, you did the right thing. Your situationship, it sounded like she was just trying to use you or get something out of you, like some women do. But some guys do the same thing. I don't like how women always get singled out for that. Some guys luck out and win the lottery with a cougar. So, you know what, bud? Keep going. Shout out to the city.
Yep, and it's all about meeting people to extract what you can out of them and leaving them in the dust. Like a lot of people do to us, Swish. They take our ideas, they steal our ideas, and they hang out with us, and the next thing you know, they're gone. And that's just a part of life. As we have 10:47 remaining, we wish you luck with your situationship, and we hope you find a new one that loves you the right way and gives you that mean sucky.
True love is blind. True love at first sight is real. Just tell yourself that, because, again, you'll have a good story for your kids one day.
Folks, is there a possibility of an Eastern Canada tour in the future? We don't really know. We have to worry about our tour right now. We appreciate you asking, but when we find out, we will tell you. We definitely do want to get up to Halifax. And one more, this guy's been asking this multiple times tonight, so we're going to interrupt this hockey game to read this off. Can you give your thoughts on my friend? I'm sorry for posting the same message, but he got a divorce after being married for 3 months. Nails. And his ex got knocked up by one of the groomsmen. Cheers. Hey, man, that's life. People are scumbags. And guess what? With Instagram, your significant other is probably going to end up cheating. Swish, over to you.
Sounds like he dodged a bullet. I mean, He gets divorced. I don't know what the prenup was or if he owed any money, but you just hand it off to one of your buddies. Now she's a baby mama. That is his problem to deal with. You guys are no longer friends, and things always work out for the better. That guy wasn't a real friend. Your wife of 3 months didn't love you. It just took a kid involved and some cheating to really find that out.
There's nothing like a little bit of cheating. We don't condone that in this
That's
show,
baseball.
but unfortunately, that is baseball. As we have 10-13 remaining here, and just to let your friend know, don't be mad about being single. Now you get to stay home, smoke pot in your own home with the windows closed, and turn on some Nick Fuentes and really just take a deep dive into conspiracies, because it will take up a lot of your time and get your mind off that breakup swish. One more from the chat before we get back to the hockey game. That is baseball, and having a wife of 3 months is also very much baseball. Thank you for the comment. We appreciate that. And yes, you are right, Daddy Fatsack. Your friend now has the ability to jerk off on the couch without his wife complaining. I'll shut the fuck up. Over to you, Swish.
That's top of the order baseball is what that is. And then it becomes the bottom of the order. But to your good friend, just tell him to stay with it. He doesn't have a kid. He has no ties into that lady, and he can just focus on what matters and just sit at home and hammer porn. 9:55 remaining here in the game as Noel Juleson is skating with a Yamaha piano on his back as he goes and retrieves that puck, and that is ultimately intercepted by Leon Draisaitl. And Leon Draisaitl didn't lose the battle, but definitely didn't win it, as we get a look here at the Philadelphia attack. And I'm not sure if this game's in slow motion, Bob, but it really does have a juvenile-like feel to it. Slow motion for me. Moving slow motion for me.
Folks, I am just getting an update right now from official academic correspondent. P. Shep, friend of the show, has passed his class with an A tonight. Congratulations. That is baseball. However, we do hope that it's a class that fucking matters, because most of education is a scam.
Shout out to P. Shep for passing online walking with a A. You're a gentleman and a scholar, my friend. I took that class famously at the University of North Dakota. My brother Nick Schmaltz ended up getting a C in it because he forgot to upload videos of him actually walking. 8:55 remaining here, folks. Thank you to all the gentlemen, scholars, and ladies for tuning in on Industry Night. We do appreciate all your chins popping by. The best show in the fucking world. We have a very sleeper-like game tonight, but you know what? We try to provide coverage you can't get anywhere else, as Nick Seeler does the Mohawk Jeff Skinner turn, and that puck is sent over to Bobby Brink, over to Jamie Drysdale, back to Brink. Seeler activated. For a guy that only has 4 points a year, Seeler has been a lot in the action tonight, and you can't fault him for that. Trying to make something happen for his team on a sleepy Wednesday in the city of brotherly love.
Question from the chat. Are you guys doing Movember? I will go ahead and take this answer first. My answer is no. I do support the cause. However, despite what this lighting is doing to my face right now, when I do just a mustache, I do look a little bit Mexican. And with what's going on with ICE right now, I don't want to risk getting deported and beat up by the Department of Homeland Security. So I am not going to be rocking a mustache. Over to you, Swish.
Chuck and Duck. And no, I will not be participating in Movember. I actually did my own mustache month when I was just bored here in August. So I already put my time in. Doing a mustache for a month it's tough, because not that you're going to talk to any chicks as is. It really limits your chance to putting yourself down an avenue of strange and odd people.
Yes, a lot of women that prefer people that are in bands. And if you have a mustache and you don't have colorful tattoos and you're not in a successful band, you are going to attract an absolute horrendous cream of the crop. But hey, there's horrendous guys, there's horrendous women. This is a show about hockey. We'll go to the chat now as pharmaceutical commercials are blasting on the TV into our face. My buddy knew my girlfriend cheated on me before we were good buddies, but he didn't tell me. Should he pay reparations to me?
So his buddy knew that his gal cheated on him?
Yeah, before they were good buddies.
Depends how good of good buddies are, and also depends on how bad of buddies good buddies were once. You know what I mean? It's like all about bad bunnies, bad snow bunnies. I don't know, man. Like, if you weren't that good of friends with this guy, is that really on him to go out of his way to tell you? Maybe he should have told you when you became good buddies if he didn't. But I don't know, man. Pick better women, I would say. I mean, you never know with people. That's the thing is, is you think you know someone. Usually within 6 months, you can kind of figure out who someone is.
Right.
But if it's under that, I don't know, man. Yeah, tread lightly. Keep it a situationship as long as you can. Don't move too quickly.
Yeah, and that is the risk of dating an absolute whore. Sometimes they will cheat, as this show is brought to you by the lottery, also known as a tax on poor people. Beyond Zero, the #1 electrified retail brand of trucks. This is brought to you by Xfinity Mobile Arena. And we're going to get back to the game here. We appreciate your relationship questions in the chat. Although this is a hockey show, we are always more than happy to give you advice, input from two unemployed assholes in their 30s that have absolutely nothing going for them.
Right you are, as the color commentator paints a very colorful picture. 7:49 remaining here in the third frame as we are back to nonstop action over here at home by 3. The alternate cast is Stuart Skinner sets up the puck for his Viking defenseman, Matthias Ekholm, who's had a very tough night, and that will be, I believe, a season-high 19th icing of the game. Folks, this is like Boost Mobile out here. Tough connection all over the ice, no Wi-Fi, not even a text you can load, let alone load a game on your phone like Minesweeper. 7:38 remaining here, folks. Connor McDavid stepping into the circle. He's going to face off against veteran forward who's had 9 to 15 back surgeries, Sean Couturier, the pride of the QMJHLLPT Quebec League.
You really respect the guy coming out of the queue because you know he wasn't doing any sexual hazing. Well, at least it's not much as the OHL did back in the day, as here is a rim up the boards, a rim job like a cougar at the Blue Martini on a Thursday night here in North Scottsdale. Nice little drop pass off to Claude Giroux, and he loses that puck, and that's scooped. That is, I don't know where it is right now. Where is this biscuit?
Gonna need a National Guard to find the puck because the camera guy certainly can't. 6:58 again. If you're just tuning in, well, this game is coming down to the absolute Jason Hayward right now. We are on the wire, on the Bobby Brink, all over it. These teams, they've sucked all night, but you know what? 2 points are on the line. And when you play 82, sometimes you just got to take a night or 12 off. And that's exactly what Leon Draisaitl is doing tonight. And I respect the German out of Cologne because you know what? He is one of the best players in the league. And if you need a Wednesday off in Philadelphia, Leon, I totally get it, buddy. You've been in Columbus. You've been in Philadelphia. You haven't seen the sun. You're in the U.S., but you want to be down south or California, and you're just a little pissed off. And I get it, fella. Keep trucking and keep going. 6:10 remaining here as bang, a drive is sent to the net as Mishkov picks up that puck, sends it up to Jamie Drysdale, who never really amounted to what he was supposed to be as he's had 3 or 4 knee surgeries, maybe a couple labrums. Who gives a shit? We're at 5:55 remaining here in the third period. 1-1 is the score. Shots are evening out right now, 28-18 in favor still of the Edmonton Oilers. But the Edmonton Oilers had 20-odd shots with half the game left. They haven't done a ton in this period, Bob. Both teams hanging on, free-falling, as we're going to get a penalty.
You're going to hit me like that?
Dan Vildar is doing his best acting job like an NBA player driving the paint, and you just sell it to get the call.
Full Ryan Miller.
You went full Millsy on that.
You know, a lot of people respected him in this city, Lucic, and you're just going to hit me like that? As here is Dan Darth Vader going full Philadelphia, instigating, and we have Matthias Janmark doing the tango with number 47. I still don't know who that is.
Noah Juleson, who is not exactly as tough as a $2 steak, but a respectable and serviceable defenseman. There's nothing like going after a guy that you know that won't fight. Pick out the Swede, pick out the guy that has no fights. That's exactly what I would do and try to look tough. That a boy, Juleson. Good on you, fella. 5:35 remaining. I believe we're going to get a Philadelphia Flyer power play, and we'll just see what happens as the Edmonton Oilers have the skip the dishes fucking emblem all over their buckets. Talk about skipping the dishes. I'm going to be ordering something shitty tonight because it is almost 8:30 and I have not ate dinner. This is for you people. This is for all 14 viewers. We love you out there. Thank you for tuning in to the most viewed network of all time.
Folks, we do have a new podcast out, The Grey Cup, The Troops, and HB3 Tour dropped yesterday on all audio platforms, including Chatterbait. And if you don't mind, smash the fuck out of that subscribe button if you haven't already. We are at 55,039 subscribers. It would really help us out. Go leave a comment on our podcast from yesterday. That would really help us out. This is a begging for subscribers and likes show as we get a look at Santa Claus for the holidays. Take your kid to the mall and have him sit on a convict's lap because the only thing he can do is dress up as Santa for $4 an hour because he can't get a real job. As aspiring national broadcasters, who do you model your game off of? Doc, Grapes? That's a great question. I model my game off of myself because I'm not as good as anybody that I don't want to sell myself short. But yeah, I don't know. Fucking Darren Pang.
Yeah, I would say Ricky Bobby. You going with that attitude and you just fucking let her grip. I don't know. I have people that I love to listen to. Kenny Albert, obviously, is a very unique voice. Doc Emmerich, the greatest of all time. You have iconic figures like Gary Thorne, Al Michaels. I don't know who I would model my game after. I don't know who anyone would say. We would probably say we're actually innovators to the sport until Amazon, Saudi, some of these people wake up. We're going to keep doing it from a couch for the love of the goddamn fucking game.
Right, you are, Swish. If you are a Saudi prince out there, we will gladly take your money and begin live hockey. We've been wanting to start this up for quite some time now, and we are willing to take the dirtiest of dollars that frequent this planet. We're going to get a replay here as it looks like Dan Vladar going full Golden Globe Awards, taking a dive as Trent Frederick, who's out rocking a Dominic Shiner on his eyes. Yeah, I don't know if he got hit in the face or what.
Rain or shine, he'll play all the time. That's just fine. It's a fine, fine day. And Trent Frederick not necessarily going to get fined for this, but he does have a little bit of a dust up with Dan Vladar. He runs into him. The thing why I think it's a penalty is because he doesn't blow snow. He doesn't stop in his tracks. He kind of carelessly goes into Vladar, and you can't hit the goalie. You go knocking on the blue paint. You run into the goalie through his chest. You're going to get dinged for that. But I think we're going to skate 5-on-4 here. I don't know. Sometimes you never know what officials. Sometimes I feel like they just decide with coincidentals. We're going to go 4-on-3. We're going to go 5-on-4. Sometimes I think they have no idea of their own rule book. But it looks like 5-on-4 here, Bob, as the Philadelphia Flyers are going to get their third chance on the power play of this period. Now, you got to capitalize. If you want to win this game, somehow Philadelphia, you're still in this game. You scored on the power play in the second period. This is the time, because if this game goes to overtime, you know what 97 is going to do. You know what 29 is going to do. You got to score here if you do want 2 points. As Rick Tocchet is rocking a quarter Windsor tonight, Chucky Knobloch, I think he wears the same suit every night.
Sometimes you have to wear a suit and leave the tag on. Things aren't going great in the economy right now. The government has been turned back on. As we get a look at this Philadelphia fucking Flyer power play. 1:47 remaining in the power play as here Trevor Zegras skates the puck up with his head up the ice, dishes it off to Claude Giroux. Back down to Zegras, who rim jobs it around to number 27. Back up to the point, playing Ken Hitchcock hockey, north-south, back north, get guys to the front, get the motherfucking puck on the net.
So that's a terrible play there by Drysdale. You're 5-on-4. You skate yourself down the wall on your backhand with full control at the top of the key, but you skate yourself out of the box. You go outside the dots to your backhand. You get stood up by the guy on the wall. So you essentially skate from the guy at the point covering you, which is a forward, a winger, down to the defenseman just outside of the dot, and then you end up rimming it, lose possession, you kill 20 seconds of the clock. That is not baseball, Bob. That's dumb ball is what that was. So I just want to point that out to the folks watching back home.
Great insight.
Terrible play. Zegras, how much does Zegras love sauce?
Absolutely loves that ragu, head high, homemade pizza, Italian sauce.
Homemade Alfredo, little Alfredo. As Tyson Forster surveys his options, he's standing still, and Bobby Brink is able to sift that into the middle, but it was gobbled up by a couple of different sets of twigs from the Edmonton Oilers as the tight box gets tighter. Ooh. And Jamie Drysdale is walking the top of the key, and he's going to pull up, give the puck to Zegras, who is just outside on the dot, the hash mark, and a great play into the screws, and not able to find the 4x6 was number 27 of the Philadelphia Flyers as Zegras is pushed off the puck as the doctor, Darnell Nurse, and this power play is going to come to an end with 2 seconds left. Little half clap from Bobby Brink. Fake that thing like he was faking a QB sneak. That was like a fake tush push right there. Didn't really do anything. The old Statue of Liberty play tickled the ceiling and not really get a whole lot done as Janmark is buzzing like a no vacancy sign, and Tyson Forster is able to shovel shit out, and Matthias Ekholm collects that puck in and around the top of the circles of his own end, and Couturier is just lugging himself out there. You got to feel for this guy. How is his back?
A lot of people in the chat bringing up Mike Yeo. He's a good guy on opposite days. We have the Foxwoods final 3 minutes of the game. Foxwoods Resorts and Casino in Connecticut, known for their cheap hookers and shrimp cocktails. Head on over to Foxwoods. It's a great place to go on a honeymoon if you're broke as fuck, but your wife doesn't know it. Here's a chip high into the sky, very Zuccarello-like, as Ferdia gets down to the corner. Over to somebody who loses the puck. Who hasn't lost the puck tonight? This is a absolutely disgusting display of hockey. This game sucks. 2.5 minutes remaining. 2.5
left here, folks, as we are absolutely grinding through it. Our bets are going to miss. There's nothing going on in this game. We're not getting paid to do this. But, in life, you never focus on the negative because what you put out there is contagious. Speaking of contagious, if you haven't got your 4th shot in your butt for the COVID vaccine, go over to Pfizer. Promo code CHIN gets you 4% off a government-mandated fake vaccine. 202-201 remaining. We are the biggest show in the world. We promote 55 brands. We do it for you, the people, and everything we do give back to the community. So thank you for tuning in and staying with us during these times. Folks, we're going to cherish these times. We're going to look back and say, remember when we were sitting on a couch watching these two assholes talk? Look at them now. They're still on the goddamn couch. 1:35 remaining here in the third period as the Edmonton Oilers are just clogging it up. Let's play for the fucking point. Majapani hasn't had a shift in about 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. I haven't been watching. Let's get back to the game. Christian Dvorak shoveling it out like with a 58-degree wedge out of a green side bunker, a pot bunker, like he's playing on a links course somewhere outside of Northern England. And that puck's going to go out of play, and we have 1 minute and 8 seconds left. Just breathtaking action. Just one power play after another that can't convert, as Noah Cates was getting beat up like a baby mama in Harlem in front of the net.
Oh, he's getting beat up like an NFL wife. And this game is clogged up, like you mentioned, like a truck stop toilet swish.
Yep, like a 7-Eleven, like a Super 8 hotel shitter.
Oh, you hate to be shitting in a Super 8. That's the type of shit where you're going to look in that mirror after and say, how the fuck did I end up here?
You go downstairs to the guy at the front desk in the lobby and you say, sir, why is there a beaver in my toilet? And he says, you know what? That's Rico. He's our pet here. Anyways, folks, speaking of pet beavers, well, if you're petting your wife's beaver tonight, do it with respect and love. This is a fornication show. This is industry night. If there's any chicks in the chat, please state your case for why you're a fan and how did you find us? How did you end up finding the largest show in the world? I'm always curious, Bob. 53 seconds left in the third period.
As here's a dump into the corner, and the linesman's going to wave that one clear, even though it was very clear that it wasn't onside. He is probably stoned as hell. Looping into the zone, getting ahead of steam, high-stepping is some guy that I don't know, number 11 with a hook on somebody. John Carlson scoops up the puck. He skates over to McAvoy. McAvoy over to Mashan. Mashan to Pasternak. Pasternak over to TD Bank. TD Bank down over to Mashan. Hashan Pass. Oh! As Travis Konechny gets his wrench on that twig. And that is most likely going to seal the fucking deal.
What? Like, this is Philadelphia Flyer hockey right here to a T. Come out in the first period, take an absolute shit on the ice. Sleepwalk your way through the second period, score on the power play. Don't do shit in the third period. Go 0 for 3. And the next thing you know, we go low to high. Owen Tippett surveying his options. Finds the middle of the ice. I believe that was Travis Sanheim. He sifts one to the cage, head up. And you know what? A very seeing eye tip in the middle of the ice with soft coverage from the Edmonton Oilers ends up in the back of the net. Talk about being opportunistic. Bob, sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's not what you're doing, it's where you are. Life is about timing, and Travis Konecny right on time with 23 and a half seconds left. My God, that is going to be one of the worst wins I think we witnessed all season, but you take that 2 points and you fucking run, as hopefully this doesn't come back for an offsides.
Hopefully, for the sake that we can stop watching this piece of shit game. We're going to get a look at the iPad. We're going to get a look at the Zebras, taking a look at the iPad as there is Travis Knobloch looking down. We have the goth girl behind the bench. Get a load of her. And this is going to come back, folks. It looks like this is going to be, that is going to be offsides. Unfortunately, we are going to have to.
I thought we saw that. I thought it was offsides. I don't know everything. I'm pretending like I do, but it just looked a little bit like, you know what? This one is coming back. And you know what?
Fuck.
I would say fuck for us, but I would say poetic justice for the game. The hockey gods don't always get it right. But I truly don't think Philadelphia deserves to win this hockey game. Say what you want about Edmonton, how fucking bad they've been. Philadelphia's been equally as bad. But Owen Tippett, do you not know where the blue line is, fella? Number 2, why can't we just go MLB umpire style, Bob? Until it actually matters in the playoffs, let's just have a couple old guys calling plays. No goal.
Yeah, that's going to be no goal, and I agree.
Fuck it. You know, like, life's too short. Like, we all got to move on. Like, this game should be over. Fans should be at the bar. They should be drunk. Instead, we're going to get bonus hockey.
Bonus shitty hockey.
Hopefully, we don't get a shootout. Knock on wood. You never know. Fuck me. Oh, my. Look at that chin on Owen Tippett. Like, that is an absolute chin.
Owen Tippett, who unfollowed me on Twitter a couple of years ago, does not see the blue line there, going full Chris Kreider. And unfortunately, thanks to him, we're going to have to sit through this piece of shit game a little bit longer, folks, but we're happy you're here with us in the chat as we have 28 seconds remaining in the Foxwoods remaining 5 minutes of the game. At this point, I have no idea what the fuck I'm even talking about. I am hallucinating. I am so hungry, Tris. I'm thinking about going to Cava, but last time the chicken was absolutely disgusting.
I went there for lunch. Yeah,
Did you?
Have you had their steak yet?
No, I've had their honey chicken.
Oh, man, that'll make you burp for like 3 days. Yeah, I switched over to the steak. It's not great, but at least it doesn't give you heartburn for the better part of the next 48 hours. Speaking of 48 hours, over the next 48 hours, folks, if this game ever fucking ends, we will be boots on the ground tomorrow night at the Suns game. If you're there, come say what up. I'm sure nobody will be there, but if you are, we will be there, as well as we'll be doing a live call-in show before we leave for Winnipeg on Friday morning. Load up your questions. If you're at work, if you're stoned, if you're at the bar, if you're in Europe. We've had guys calling from Moscow. We've had people calling from Nigeria. We've had people call in from some shitty place in Sudbury. Wherever you are, Friday, call in, see the fellas, talk shop, and hit us with some questions.
We have a couple chicks in the chat.
Ooh.
Shout out to the chicks in the chat.
Ooh.
Emmer, that might be a guy actually, but Jules said that Tide NASCAR jacket is so nails. We appreciate you being here with us on Wednesday, which is industry night, when girls that are only in relationships with bar bouncers go out on the town, have a couple martinis, and end up in a fight in a Nissan Altima in the casino parking lot. Swish, it's good to be here today. I really am enjoying this game. This game is brought to you by Citizens Bank. Don't be a jackass. Make sense of investing at Citizens Bank. We don't make money unless you fucking make money. Over to you, Swish.
Yeah, and if, like I said, it's industry night, if you're going out on the town tonight, be careful, because a girl with a dragon sleeve tattoo and a belly button piercing could suck the chrome right off a trailer hitch, but she does probably have a guy. She's probably dating a bar back at the place she works. Tread carefully. Those guys tend to stab people first and then deal with the consequences later. Not a whole lot of credit score in those conversations. Not a ton of brain activity in the frontal lobe. But again, tread carefully tonight, because yes, it is an easy night to get laid, but a lot of times those nights, they tell a story you don't want to see unfold.
And it is just not worth it to get stabbed by a bouncer or a bar back in the middle of the week during the holiday season. Swish, if you're going to get stabbed, do it in February. This way you can recover before the summer and get out there, get single, and be a
January is a great month to get stabbed.
Yes, after all the festivities that goes on.
Because it's depressing as is. There's a lot of your buddies are trying this dry January for the first 6 days of the month. If you're going to get stabbed, ideally it would be between January 3rd, because you're still not as stung from the 1st, and the 7th. So if you're looking to do something illegal, do it then. Folks, we do offer bonus coverage over here. We are the number one show about a show. We are now watching 3-on-3 overtime as Leon Draisaitl attempts a pass into Connor McDavid that was intercepted as Travis Konecny makes his way over the red line and tries to find Travis Sanheim going in for a break, and they're going to corral that puck, set up again for an attack, and we are at the 4:31 marker of overtime. Working overtime, folks, working 9 to 5. We do it all over here at Hockey Night. Oh, almost said Hockey Night.
Oh, and a good play by the goalie, and swipes it up to McPherson, who high steps, gives that puck off to Draisaitl, the big German machine, back over to McDavid. Goes off the tape, but he retains the puck and back north, and nobody is there but the goalie, Mike Smith, who will redirect the puck off to Jake Gritty Wallman, who makes his way north and again drops it off to Killer Yamamoto, he's surveying the ice.
As Jackie Roslovic is able to sling that puck to the net, and Valdar plays that puck quickly over to Cam York, and they send that puck up to Trevor Zegras, and now we got a little bit of a break.
That's offside.
That's offsides. And Jack Roslovic ends it, but that is going to come back, and we will take a 4-minute break. Not from talking to you, but we're going to take a 4-minute break from the action because that indeed will be offsides. I'm not sure if you can review it in overtime. I think you can.
Yep.
But that is offsides, and Roslovic knows it. He just doesn't want to admit it. Oh, is he dragging?
Oh!
Wow, what a drag, fella. He is not offside.
Tokyo
We did not have that drag bunt camera there. We were on the other side, but my God, what a drag.
What a little no-look pass by Savoy. And there's nothing you could do there if you're Dan Vladar. It's just kind of one of those plays where you hope your groin doesn't snap in half. But that's the final, folks, live from Philadelphia. That was the HB3 all-cast Swish. It was a pleasure to call the game with you. This is hockey coverage that you literally can't fucking find anywhere else. The Edmonton Oilers are going to win this hockey game 2-1.
That they are, folks. Again, thank you for tuning in to the biggest show. We'll be in Winnipeg this weekend. Grey Cup weekend. Can't wait to see all the good chins of the CFL, the hardest 9-team league in the world. See you soon, Winnipeg. Again, we'll be back Friday for the call-in show. We will post a time for that, as well as we still have all of our tickets on sale for the Let It Snow Tour. Go for 1, stay for 2, home by 3. Bob Gucci, Jay Swish. It's presented by Men's League Sweaters. Men's League Sweaters is the official partner of our weekly coverage. 93.1, Bob Gucci, we out.